qualified and unqualified to be president.
Harris is on her way to Wisconsin, where Trump also campaigns today after rallying first in Michigan. Trump running mate J.D. Vance is already there, pouncing on Mark Cuban's recent comment that Trump doesn't like to have strong, intelligent women around him.
The reason I think they've decided to insult people is because they don't have a record to run on.
Cuban has since offered an apology to anyone offended, saying the comment didn't come out as intended. U.S. intelligence agencies say Russia is making fake videos to sow doubt in the U.S. election after a video spreading online purporting to show a voter claiming to be from Haiti voting multiple times illegally in Georgia for Vice President Harris. U.S. intelligence agencies say the video is fake, made by Russian influence actors, and that it's part of a broader effort to raise unfounded questions about election integrity and stoke division among Americans. They're celebrating in L.A. A victory parade for the Dodgers, who won their second World Series in 5 years, defeating the Yankees this week. It's only the second parade in 36 years, though. The last time they won was in 2020 during pandemic restrictions. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Keeping the concerts safe. Sunny and 52 degrees downtown. Your radar's clear of any rain. Tonight's low drops to about 39. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. With Taylor Swift performing in Indianapolis this weekend, Indy Metro Police are urging you to stay safe. In a video posted to the organization's YouTube page, officer said,
"Let's have a great time, enjoy the concerts and all the festivities, and let's all get home swiftly and safely." Hey, Indianapolis! Are you ready for it?
Swift will be performing over at Lucas Oil Stadium Friday through Sunday. Indianapolis is the final city on the U.S. portion of the Eras Tour. A teenager was shot and killed late Thursday on the east side of Indianapolis. IMPD officer Rob Ryder said this was not how Halloween was supposed to go.
It's a great time for the kids, and to have a violent, tragic event happen in their neighborhood really is very disturbing.
If you know anything about the shooting, give police a call. Two Indianapolis families are suing over the shooting deaths of two men last year. Both were shot by IMPD officers. Darcel Edwards in October and Leandra Houston in November. Both men were unarmed when they were shot. Attorney Nathaniel Lee says in Edwards' case, he was suffering with mental illness.
One of the telltale signs, he said, "Call my mama." You know, you're not going to shoot somebody. You want your mom to come to the scene.
The families of both men claimed the shootings were not justified, and they're taking IMPD to court in a civil case. The department has no comment on the lawsuit. You may have heard the White House blame hurricanes and labor strikes for a disappointing jobs report. Donnie Burgess reports one financial expert says that's not the full story.
This is political spin trying to explain away the bad numbers so you won't look at the bad numbers.
UND economist Dr. Matt Will tells Tony Katz today having only 12,000 new jobs added last month is not a sign of a growing economy. Some experts expected 100,000 new jobs in October, but the labor statistics report said otherwise.
The employment's been going up. Every month, more people employed. This month, 368,000 people fewer employed than last month.
Dr. Will says big tech companies are helping prop up the stock market. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Have you heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah, she's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience, so I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
The traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Okay, looking at southbound 6570 Harrison. We are stop-and-go traffic from 70 past Washington. Crash reported in that area. Eastbound as 70. at Post Road. This is a vehicle fire, and we do see some smoke coming off this exit ramp from eastbound 72 Post Road. So be careful. The ramp is open. It is partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by Discover. Discover wants everyone to feel special. That's why they double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and seasonable throughout the day today. We'll get up to 59. Clear and chilly later tonight with lows falling down to 37. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Delphi, day 13 of the trial. Yesterday, the prosecution rested their case. Today, Hammer, the defense team, gets the ball.
And the big topic of discussion today was what state of mind was Richard Allen in when he made these jailhouse confessions. So the defense team called Dr. Deanna Dwinger from the Indiana Department of Corrections to the stand. She is the director of behavioral health for the Department of Corrections. So basically, she's the psych expert, right? She testified that Richard Allen was classified as a safety risk when he arrived at the Department of Corrections, and he was listed as a Code D for mental health, which meant that he needed a personal therapist, somebody that was designed just for him. She also went on to say that Richard Allen heard threats regularly from other inmates. She said that Richard Allen was aware that a camera was on him at all times, and that was making him paranoid, had a very bad effect on his mental health. She testified today, based on the notes that were given, that the solitary confinement and the cameras are not good for one's mental health. And she also said that the Department of Corrections has a mental health policy that somebody with a, quote, serious mental illness should not be held in solitary for more than 30 days. Well, Richard Allen was diagnosed with exactly that, but was there for 13 months. He was diagnosed as gravely disabled by the mental health staff at Westville facility, and somebody left him in solitary confinement for a period so long that it would be hard not to develop mental health problems. So this is why the defense wanted this witness on the stand. She also goes on to say, and I thought this was interesting, that Richard Allen was given a drug, Haldol, which is this antipsychotic drug, which was delivered involuntarily. So basically forced to take this antipsychotic drug. And then the jury had a few questions that they passed to the judge, and we'll get into that a little bit later on with Donnie and Guy when they get in here at 5:06.
Okay.
So that is what happened in the morning session. Turning our attention to some other stuff now, it's just been kind of a rough 24 hours for IU grad, former majority owner of the Mavericks, Mark Cuban.
I said something derogatory about the ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He's dealing with that fallout for sure. He basically stated that no smart, intelligent women are ever around Donald Trump, which is incredibly insulting to a lot of the women that support him, that are on his staff. We played a lot of responses.
One of his main campaign people.
Right.
Yeah.
We played a lot of the responses yesterday. Speaking of IU products, Sage Steel. We got a little IU on IU violence here. Listen to what Sage Steel had to say about Mark Cuban.
You never see Donald Trump around strong, intelligent women. That's the quote, Mark Cuban. I gotta say, I have known you and respected you and loved you for a really long time and have watched every single one of the comments you've made over the last several months. And I don't agree with them, but I respect them. And what you just said there is disrespectful, and it crosses the line. Personally, we know each other. You and I sat next to each other. Remember at the IU basketball game when Bob Knight came back 4.5 years ago? Me and my daughter for a couple of hours, and you sat and you talked to Forget about me. How about my young daughter, who I think is intelligent, who looked up to you? How about your own daughters? What if someday they decide to think differently than you with their politics? Are they not strong and unintelligent? What is that? You talk about not being divisive, and look at what you're doing. Shocking, because I thought I knew who you were and your heart and your core, and this is just stupid.
Sage Steele, of course, echoing the sentiments of every woman that voted for Donald Trump, I think, at this point.
Right. So we're expected to believe that somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, who's around Donald Trump a lot.
Part of the transition team.
Somebody that served her country, served the government. She's not strong or intelligent.
And then, by the way, I'm not going to read it word for word, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but Mark Cuban went on X and backtracked and tried to explain, whoa, I wasn't talking about all female Trumps. It was basically like the garbage comment from Joe Biden. It was kind of the equivocal.
There was an apostrophe in there somewhere. I promise that apostrophe makes everything different. Now, you heard Sage Steele there. She kind of took the approach of, I'm disappointed in you, Mark. Coming up at 4:35, somebody's going to take a different approach. Friend of the show, Gunnery Sergeant and Veterans for Trump Executive Director Jessie Jane Duff. She is hot. She is fired up,
I love
man.
her, man.
She is going to respond to Mark Cuban coming up at 4:35. So that's just one part of the last 24 hours for Mark Cuban. The other part is being depantsed by Bill O'Reilly on a News Nation town hall. So News Nation had this election town hall, and you had Chris Cuomo hosting it, moderating it. Mark Cuban was a panelist. Bill O'Reilly was a panelist. There were others. But here's Mark Cuban ripping on Donald Trump's economy.
Trump, inflation was up 25% over the Obama economy he inherited. Talk to him about his tariffs. What worked with his tariffs? He had 4 years to make tariffs work with China. China kicked his ass. China took him to court, right? Because he didn't know how tariffs work, and it hurt the economy. The economy was rolling along, and it got so hit by the tariffs that his appointment to the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, had to come back in and cut interest rates 3 times. And then we get to the real point of reckoning, the pandemic. And what does he do? He says, if we don't test people, the viruses didn't really happen. He holds back on resources, except for Vladimir Putin, to keep people from getting healthy. That is not an accomplished president, Dana.
Now, Mark Cuban, again, successful businessman. He's got a lot of money, but I don't know how many people are around him that call him out on his bull crap. Probably a lot of yes men that are around Mark Cuban. Bill O'Reilly is not one of those guys. He had a little fact checking to do with everything Mark Cuban had to say.
I got to jump in with course corrections here. Number one, the real wages, which is really the only economic barometer for the folks, was up 8.2% in the 4 years Trump was president. 8.2 across the board for working Americans. Fact. Under Biden-Harris, it is around 1%. No COVID pandemic. They have failed. Number two, inflation didn't start because Putin and the Arabs did anything. Inflation started, and I don't know whether you know this, Mr. Cuban, but Biden signed in his first week in office at least 20 executive orders, making it harder for every fuel company to harvest their product, whether it be fracking or oil or anything. The fuel company said, holy you know what, we're going to get hosed because our prices to get the stuff out of the ground are quadrupling, so we're going to do it retail now. That's what ignited it, not Putin and not Saudi Arabia. That is the truth.
I heard. Did you hear that at the end? Bill, you're bloviating. I think that's what he said. I think
that's fancy talk for. Please stop handing me my ass.
That's when Bill, you're bloviating is the reason. I believe I heard that correctly from Mark Cuban at the end there after Bill O'Reilly made a fool out of him. Bill, you're bloviating. That's something you say when you don't have a response.
Right.
When you know you've just been fact checked.
I mean, he just laid out everything for you. And all you can say is, you're bloviating. Okay, fine. Before we hit a break here, Nige, how was Halloween at the Laskowski house? Did you guys have a lot of trick-or-treaters?
Man, we did, and it was one of the best Halloweens in a long time. I can't explain why. The weather was a little iffy, but, I mean, our neighborhood was alive with kids, a lot of families in our neighborhood.
I love to see that kind of stuff, man.
It was, and you know what? My son and his buddies ran off. We didn't even have to watch them. Me and another, Lindsay and I and another couple kind of moseyed like 50 yards behind our daughter and their daughter with cocktails, and it was just...
The daughters had cocktails?
No, we had cocktails. The daughters had bags of
Because I know who their dad is, and I wasn't sure.
I will say the seminal moment of the evening came when everything was done and we were all settled in and everybody was upstairs. They were looking at their candy. I was downstairs with the cocktail trying to watch a DVR recorded version of The View. And I got a knock on the door. No, I was watching The Five. I got a knock on the door. Right? I thought this was over, okay? Because my in-laws were doing opening the door for the trick-or-treaters, right? My in-law. So anyway, I open the door. It's a bevy of teenage girls in costumes. Trick-or-treat. And I started to panic.
You didn't have any more candy?
I didn't know where it was. Everything had been put away. We'd put everything away. We'd turn the lights off. And so I even made a bigger mistake. I go, Lindsay! Where's the candy?
Throwing her under the bus in front of the kids?
These teenage girls are just looking at me in their costumes. She shouts down, on the counter! Now, on the counter. Now, what does that mean?
Which counter?
I don't live in a big house, but there are several different counters. Apparently, I was looking in the wrong counter, and she had to come down, and they were going, sir, never mind, sir. So that was these teenage girls, never mind. And by the time Lindsay got down to find me the candy, they were gone. So, but it was a great night besides that.
Okay.
I made a fool out of myself, though, in front of a bunch of idiots.
Allison?
I made in front of a bunch of girls, that is.
Oh, I was just going to say, Lindsay definitely probably told you where that candy was at.
Now, hold on. I know we're running way long here. I want to leave time for Matt Bear. But
I'm sorry. I didn't even see the clock.
We got to go to break.
I didn't see the clock.
Yeah.
But, Allison, since your voice is going out, I want you to throw it to Matt Bear for traffic. Then I'm going to make you do the weather on the backside.
Oh, great. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at traffic with Matt Bear.
Yes.
Allison, I didn't hear you. Can you say that again, please?
Yeah, we just turned it up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Westbound 70 stop-and-go traffic. Sherman Drive into the North Split delay continuing down to Washington Street. Inbound 65 stop-and-go 21st to Meridian Penn. And then we look at the northeast side. Eastbound 465 slows Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 stop-and-go 106th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They've teamed up with the Indiana Fever and Common Threads to provide local schools with information for nutrition meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies Incorporated. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And now, with the most booming voice in radio, the voice of a generation, a voice that can never be copied or reproduced ever again, here with the weather is producer Allison.
Yeah, it's 53 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center at WIBC.
Come on.
This pubescent boy is out.
Matt Bear up next.
Okay, so last year, Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and completely changed the look and feel of my garage. Before, my old garage was cracked and dirty and uneven and faded. It's now 4 times as strong with this new coating they put over it. And it's not slippery either. It's not epoxy. It's better. They use polyurea for their coatings, the new premium standard for coatings. And now Galaxy's coming back, hopefully here in the next couple of days, to take a look at my basement and see what they could do with that furnace room. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They do your garage, basement, pool deck, or any indoor or outdoor area concrete. Get their website, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
As the summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-262-1104 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-262-1104. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust, right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Guy Relford here. Time again for the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the State Fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection gear, plus great displays of Americana. Come see us this weekend at the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show, Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 9 to 6, and Sunday 9 to 4. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. See you there.
Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers. That's why the Indiana State Police Alliance has endorsed Todd Rokita for re-election. They know Todd Rokita is protecting our jobs, protecting us from crime, and working to end illegal immigration, always putting Hoosiers first. Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers.
Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
The silence you just heard? You could have used that space to reach your customers. Get your message in front of your customers. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Man, I'm having a good time today. I'm Nigel, that's Hammer, and we also have a very special in-studio guest.
What's up? Matt Baer is not so much a traffic reporter this weekend as he is a Swiftie organizer.
Yes!
It's a full-on Taylor Swift invasion here in Indianapolis. I got out before the show and walked around downtown, and Allison helped me out here because I know you're a Swiftie. I see a lot of glitter. I mean, pink dresses, sparkly, purple dresses, sparkly, black, gold. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, and maybe that helps with the traffic.
Maybe.
Then you won't hit them because they'll be sparkling.
Good point. Good point.
What's it looking like right now?
I know how we drive downtown, so I don't know if anything can help. It's on, guys. I mean, I was backed up. I was coming into work, and I'm downtown. We work downtown. I live downtown, and I was on Pennsylvania for like 10 minutes. I mean, it was backed up all the way, I would say, to the north end of downtown. And we're not even close to the concert yet. We're on day one of the concert, too, so you can only imagine what this weekend's going to be like. It's going to be bedlam, and if you're driving, avoid it. That's what I'm saying.
Of course, they've narrowed Pennsylvania to what, half a lane?
We don't even get that anymore.
We don't even get. And remember, that half a
yeah.
lane is being taken up by a box truck.
Right.
That's okay. I'll dart down Illinois Street. Oh, wait, government-funded hotel has that area closed as well.
I know. It's not even going to be there in a decade. What are we doing? I mean, come on.
So let's be honest here. If somebody had plans to come downtown tonight, let's say they had reservations at St. Elmo or something, or maybe they're doing something else, what do you advise?
I advise that you don't use the I-72 East, I-72 West Street, or I-72 Meridian Street exits on the south end of downtown. Those are the two prime exits to Lucas Oil Stadium, and that's what the Swifties are going to be using. So I'm staying off those. I would consider going up northbound 6570, get out your map, go up northbound 6570 and using that Washington Street exit instead. That would be totally my plan, because there's nothing that's going to be perfect getting in and out of downtown tonight and this weekend, but those are the two less paths of least resistance here.
And once you get downtown, the foot traffic, because again, there's a lot of people walking around. When I was out there, it was like 2:15 in the afternoon, and there was a lot of people walking around. I can't imagine what it's going to be like later on tonight through Sunday.
Oh, man, it totally kicks ass, because we had the FFA last week. They were awesome. We had the Swifties in this week. They're awesome. But the thing is, with the FFA, when you're trying to get out of a parking garage, you can see that long line of FFAers go by the parking garage in front of it. And you knew once you saw the adult in the back, the chaperone, that was the end of the line.
Right.
And you were good to go.
Okay.
You could drive.
Yeah,
you don't have that luxury this weekend.
No.
You don't have that at the crosswalks. You don't have that anywhere else. You have to be really careful before you leave these parking garages.
Ride sharing is going to be big this weekend, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And they do have ride share lots established, at least during the concert. They're going to be on South Street. South Street, kind of the epicenter for this whole Taylor Swift
Kind
weekend.
of by a YMCA?
Yeah. South Street of Delaware, South Street of West. So, yeah, it's right there at the Y, Ursay Y, and some of the other places there along South Street. And the Cultural Trail just opened on South Street as well, so you can expect additional foot traffic on top of the concert there.
One more thing on Taylor before we get to your clip of the podcast here. And maybe this is a dumb guy question, but I think it's what everybody wants to know. Why now with Taylor Swift is the city shutting everything down? We have big events all the time. We have big concerts. Garth Brooks has had a residency here before.
5 in a row, yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing new for us to have big concerts, big conventions, big events. Why is the city coming to a stop now? I get Taylor Swift's a big deal, but we have big deals here all the time.
Yeah, and to your point, Morgan Wallen was in town, I think it was July or August, and those ramps to downtown were really backed up as well. And I can't imagine, you think about just the seating alone with Lucas Oil Stadium, that Taylor Swift is obviously going to be a bigger draw than anybody, but that much more significant than Morgan Wallen. I'm interested to see how
sold out Lucas Oil is a sold out Lucas Oil, regardless of who's in it, right?
But for 3 nights in a row and 150,000 people downtown, every one of those nights estimated. I'm not saying all of them are going to the show, obviously. You can't fit it there, but I mean, there's estimated 150,000 people downtown every night starting tonight.
And I think that's what the city is thinking. I think that's what everybody else is thinking, not just the fandom. You just don't come for the concert. I mean, it is a weekend.
True.
It is a weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, you have cops
Absolutely.
exchanging the friendship bracelets with Taylor Swift fans. I mean, that's happening.
That's the thing that I've noticed. Tons of police downtown.
Good.
Like I've seen police on golf carts, on bikes, usual vehicles. It's a very well protected downtown, and mysteriously, all the homeless bums are gone off the circle.
Yeah.
So I wonder which hotel they've been shuttled to.
Strange.
But we'll discuss that later. Matt Baer is one of the hosts of the Supporting Sobriety podcast, an important, very awesome project that you do with Ryan Hedrick in the newsroom.
Thank you.
And you've been doing a series on fentanyl. And I think this is great that you're doing this because so many people have questions about it, and you've laid it out nicely.
I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I also have mixed in drug use with opiates. And I was addicted to opiates very much, as well as alcohol. And in this clip we're going to hear in our fentanyl series with Supporting Sobriety is I'm talking about the difference as I see it as a recovering alcoholic. With the distribution through social media, the lethality of fentanyl is sudden. It's instant, unexpected. As also a recovering alcoholic, that's what I am, alcohol being my drug of choice. It's terrifying to me because look at it this way. If I'm an alcoholic, I could have liver damage that a doctor catches and says, okay, time for a change. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm ready.
Right.
With fentanyl, not only
do you not know you're taking it? It's one hit first time, stone cold, lights out, boom. This is no longer a world where drugs are just being bought off the streets, right? It's fentanyl. It's being delivered to your front door through social media, and it doesn't care if you live in an HOA neighborhood or not. The big picture is fentanyl is everywhere.
Now, keep in mind, you could be drunk driving and kill somebody or kill yourself. So it could be sudden, but I'm talking about the natural degradation of your body as you continue. So it's the fentanyl series. We have a great guest coming up this week with Lauren Sisler of ESPN, College Game Day. We're going to be talking to her, and I just can't wait. This fentanyl series has been remarkable. You can find it at any major podcast provider. I like to use Apple, wherever you like to go, or on X at Sobriety_pod, at Sobriety_pod. We'd love to have you in the sober community. It's a blessing. It really is.
Keep fighting the good fight, Matt. That's awesome stuff.
Thanks, love you guys. Thanks for the time.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Jennifer McCormick couldn't name a single thing she disagreed with Hillary Clinton on. That's because, just like Hillary, McCormick backed failed liberal policies. She endorsed Bidenomics, said she'd be honored to serve in Biden's administration. She opposed school choice, and she even supports biological boys playing girls' sports.
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I did vote for Hillary Clinton. She had some great, world foreign policy experience. So, I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
It gets worse. Here's what Jennifer McCormick says about Donald Trump.
I cannot get behind that. Never voted for Trump, never will vote for Trump, never was behind Trump, never will be behind Trump. I just cannot get behind a party who is behind that type of leadership. To me, it's nonsensical.
Jennifer McCormick, hopelessly liberal. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Bill Klontz Heating and Cooling. Not all furnace and air conditioning companies are the same. First, you need great products, and American Standard is consistently ranked highest by customers. Then Chris Edwards says you need integrity.
In a sea of HVAC companies to choose from, we are different because we build honest relationships with our customers, and to us, they are families.
See the difference by going to BillKlontz.com, CLONTZ. Bill Klontz Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Violence on Halloween. Mostly sunny and 52 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. No rain to worry about on your radar. Low of 39 expected tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:33. A teenager was shot and killed late Thursday on the east side. IMPD officer Rob Ryder said this was not how Halloween was supposed to go.
It's a great time for the kids, and to have a violent, tragic event happen in their neighborhood really is very disturbing.
If you've got any info on what happened at the shooting, give police a phone call. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says Vice President Kamala Harris has a better plan for the economy compared to her political opponent.
On the economic plans of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, I think the choice is crystal clear. Kamala Harris will be better for our economy. Whether it's on the issue of workers, we know Kamala Harris has stood up for workers, stood up for the union way of life.
Shapiro claims Trump has a history of being anti-union as well. Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, is criticizing today comments recently made by Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, who questioned the intelligence of women associated with the former president.
The reason I think they've decided to insult people is because they don't have a record to run on.
Cuban has since apologized for those comments he made while on ABC's The View. You may have heard the White House blame hurricanes and labor strikes for disappointing jobs reports. Donnie Burgess reports one financial expert says that's not quite the full story.
This is political spin trying to explain away the bad numbers so you won't look at the bad numbers.
UND economist Dr. Matt Will tells Tony Katz today having only 12,000 new jobs added last month is not a sign of a growing economy. Some experts expected 100,000 new jobs in October, but the labor statistics report said otherwise.
The employment's been going up. Every month, more people employed. This month, 368,000 people fewer employed than last month.
Dr. Will says big tech companies are helping prop up the stock market. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
$3.05 is the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today. That's according to GasBuddy.com. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:35.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House, and I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
And with traffic at 3:36, what's going on, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, inbound 69, stop and go traffic 106th Street down to 82nd. East side, southbound 465, stop and go before 70 down to South Shadeland Avenue. Inbound 65, stop and go 29th to Meridian Penn. Westbound 70 slows from Rural down to Fletcher Avenue. And on the southwest side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic 70 over to Man Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 Cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny and seasonable throughout the day today. We'll get up to 59. Clear and chilly later tonight with lows falling down to 37. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Yeah. What up? This is Dr. Dre. The party's going on. Thank God it's Friday.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Yeah, my name is Nigel. Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Tommy Piggott is the RNC Strategic Communications Director. You can see some of his work on the popular handle at RNC Research. Tommy, we're in the red zone here, my friend. Just a couple days away until Election Day. A lot of people have been waiting for this date for a long time. How are you guys feeling? How is the GOP feeling inside the doors?
Well, right now the momentum's clearly on President Trump's side. We're seeing that from the polling. We're seeing that from early vote numbers. But I guess the main feeling is just motivation, making sure we put points on the board every single day, making sure we're running to the finish line, and making sure as many people as possible have that plan to vote. While everything that's measurable looks good for President Trump, our job is to be uncomfortable. Our job is to play like we're 10 points behind, making sure that we make this thing too big to rig, making sure everyone not only gets out to vote, but brings 10 of their friends and family to do the same.
And we talk a lot about the presidential race, and that's obviously the most important, the signature race of this election, but the House and the Senate also very much in play here. What are the numbers that you've been seeing lately, and what are the chances of a switch in the Senate?
Well, look, that looks good as well, but there are a lot of close Senate races out there that make sure that we have to get people out to vote. We clearly have some advantages in key states that will flip over from Democrats to Republican, or at least looks that way. But again, nothing's for granted. We have to make sure that we're playing like we're behind, that we're putting everything on the table that we can. But if you're looking at these numbers, we're seeing very positive signs in the early vote numbers. We're seeing more Republicans vote early. We're seeing a higher percentage of low propensity votes, which means voters that maybe haven't voted in a few election cycles. We're having more of those Republican lower propensity voters coming out to vote the Democrats. So it's looking good, and we're having some key states where we clearly have the momentum, and the public polling shows that as well. But again, like I said, we got to make sure everyone's making their plan to vote at swamptotevoteusa.com, getting involved. But right now, it's looking pretty good. And if we run through the finish line, keep scoring points, we're confident we're going to have a Republican House, Republican Senate, and a Republican in the White House.
Hey, Tommy, maybe just off the top of your head, the top 2 or 3 issues that you think are going to determine the outcome of some of these swing states here in this 2024 election? Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. What are some of the issues that maybe off the top of your head?
Well, I think the top three issues that we're really seeing play out are the top three issues, or three of them that have been really since the beginning of this campaign, which is the border, the economy, and foreign policy. I mean, the border has been such a catastrophe for Kamala Harris. The fact that she said that she wouldn't have done anything different, I believe, is disqualifying, because it's one thing to make a mistake, if that can even be called a mistake. It's another thing to see the death and destruction and stand by it. I think that's a disqualifying statement from Kamala Harris to say she would have done nothing differently on the border. And then when you look at the economy, prices up over 20%. We have a terrible jobs report out today, which shows that the private sector actually lost jobs. We've actually had a loss of jobs in manufacturing as well. So it's not a good picture for the American economy. Americans are struggling. And then on foreign policy, you look at that and you see a weaker America. And I think that just more goes to the chaos that Harris and Joe Biden have really brought us. They brought us chaos on the world stage. People see it. People feel less safe in the world. They feel less safe in our country. And we need to elect President Trump to get back to those historic peace agreements and really restore peace through strength.
Tommy Pigott is our guest, RNC Strategic Communications Director. Tommy, when I talk to a lot of people about the election coming up, they say a lot of the same things. They're optimistic. They believe the momentum is on Donald Trump's side, but there's always a but. But some people are concerned about these states that you can vote where you don't need identification, or the voting machines, or the overall security of the election. Talk these folks off the cliff just a little bit. How has the RNC made strides in making sure this is a safe election?
Well, right now the RNC has an unprecedented election integrity program. We set out to recruit 100,000 volunteers to be poll watchers, poll observers. We're at over 230,000, and that number is even higher than that. That have been recruited to be part of that effort. We also have a rapid response legal operation. We've been engaged in litigation since the beginning of this cycle, but we're also engaged in litigation now to make sure that the law is followed, responding in real time to issues that we're seeing. An example in Bucks County, we had in Bucks County reports that people were being turned away from early voting sites despite guidance from the Secretary of the Commonwealth saying that those polling sites needed to be open. We took litigation, we took action, and early voting days were extended in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, because of that litigation. The RNC and Trump campaign won in court. That's one example, but there are other examples where when people report problems that they're seeing at the polls, they report it. We have a rapid response legal operation taking action across the country and making sure that the law is followed and that we're having eyes on every single part of this process.
Tommy, last thing here before we let you go. Got about a minute left here. What would you say to somebody who is going to go vote? They might not like Donald Trump, but they're thinking about voting for Donald Trump. Maybe they don't like his personality. They were very never Trump back in 2020, but they've seen how things have played out. What advice would you tell them as they head out on Election Day?
Well, first thing would be to vote for President Trump. And I think ultimately the argument is that Kamala Harris broke it and President Trump will fix it. It's as simple as that. When you look at the policies that have been put into place, the fact that families are poorer today than when Kamala Harris took office, the fact that the border is open, the fact that we're seeing crime across this country, the fact that we went from historic peace agreements under President Trump to war in the world under Kamala Harris. And I think it's important to remember that when Kamala Harris was enacting all of these policies, she was insisting that she was right, and she still insists that she was right. There's no change from Kamala Harris from all of the policies that she's put into place. So President Trump has the policies, he has the agenda, he has the platform to not only get us back to where we were when it comes to the economy, when it comes to foreign policy, all the successes that we had, but also to build on that, to unleash a new American golden age, building on the record of success that he has and the policies that he has in place to make sure we get there.
Tommy Pigott, Strategic Communications Director for the RNC. Tommy, the next time we speak to you, I hope we know who the winner of the presidential race will be. That'll be next Friday. Best of luck to you guys. I know you guys are working some long hours over there, but good luck.
Thanks for having me on. Thank you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Matt Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. The Christmas season. I just love it. Won't you join us this Thursday through Sunday for our Christmas open house at all of our locations? You'll find the best prices of the season on Christmas gifts, ornaments, collectibles, accents, and more. Come in and pick up your open house coupons for additional savings up to 50% off select items. You'll also want to look at Indiana's largest selection of pre-lit Christmas trees ranging from 2 to 14 foot tall And this Thursday through Sunday, save an extra 10% off all artificial Christmas trees, already reduced 30%. And again, at our 71st and Keystone store, climb aboard the Sullivan Express train and visit Santa. Book your tickets at sullivanhardware.com. Best prices of the season this Thursday through Sunday. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn in Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan, 114th and Allisonville Road in Fishers.
Looking for a great place to go for car care?
Hi, this is Lonnie Hinkle from Jiffy Lube, and I'd like to share the top 5 reasons that every Hoosier should trust Jiffy Lube to help keep their car running safe and well. Number 5, our computer system holds the maintenance data for every make and model. We know exactly what your car needs and when it needs to be done. Number 4, Jiffy Lube's training system is in the Training Magazine Hall of Fame. Along with companies like Ritz-Carlton, Starbucks, and Nordstrom's, our team does the job right. Number 3, you never need an appointment. We are ready to serve you whenever it works best for you, so come on in and see us. Number 2, Jiffy Lube accepts competitor coupons so you can get our great service at the desperate price of our competitors. And number 1, Jiffy Lube is a one-stop maintenance shop, and we make it easy for you to take great care of your car. Avoid the repair shop by getting your maintenance done at Jiffy Lube. And we now offer brakes, tires, tune-ups, and minor repairs at most stores.
So head to Jiffy Lube. There's really no reason to take your car anywhere else.
At Shane Company, our engagement rings are the perfect blend of design, function, and beauty, each one a unique work of art. We meticulously craft our bridal jewelry in our jeweler's workshop to the highest standards, expertly setting each diamond by hand, ensuring the structure is perfectly balanced, and sizing everything for the perfect fit. Shane Company offers a free unmatched lifetime warranty because your engagement ring is an heirloom that was made to last. You'll cherish your ring today, tomorrow, and forever. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
As a caregiver, managing your loved one's health can at times be overwhelming. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. In a moment, I'll share 3 tips to help you manage your loved one's medical care effectively.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Tip number 1, keep a list of all medications, dosages, and schedules to ensure your loved one is taking their medication correctly. Second, attend doctor's appointments with your loved one when you're able. And finally, stay organized by keeping forms, notes, and other important documents in one secure place. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. Need heating service in Johnson, Morgan, or Hendricks County? Give us a call, 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
When it's all over, join WIBC and Tony Katz for Understanding the Election in 3 Bourbons, presented by Premier Arms on Thursday, November 14th. Enjoy bourbon, cigars, hors d'oeuvres, expert analysis, and plenty of laughs. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at WIBC.com.
We were talking about Halloween and trick-or-treating earlier. We had a bunch of kids last night.
At your place?
Yeah. It was slow at first, like from 5 to 6:30, crickets. But man, as soon as 6:30 happened,
yeah,
boom, just an invasion over at our house.
More than usual, you think?
About the same. We usually have a big turnout, but they all came at like the same time this year.
I love the, I saw you posted, or maybe it was your wife posted, the Trump blow-up decorations.
So the Halloween decorations have been taken down.
It's incredible.
We did that after the trick-or-treating was done. We stayed up late last night.
It's gone?
Halloween decorations down. Trump decorations are up.
Oh, okay.
So,
right,
we went
so
from
that's-
Halloween mode to election mode.
I was confused. I thought those were the decorations for Halloween.
No. Like, we had the big blow-ups for Halloween,
Yeah.
and then, like, at 9 o'clock, light went off. Mama and I got out there, took down all those decorations, and now it looks like one big happy MAGA house, baby. So,
are you worried somebody's going to walk by and yank some of those things off your yard?
We expect it, to be honest with you. There's going to be some jag-off that tries it. I just hope I'm home when they do it, because as you know, I like violence. So come on. All right,
Okay.
Matt Baer, what's going on?
Inbound 65 stop and go 21st to the north split, and eastbound 70 stop and go traffic Tibbs Avenue to the south split. See mostly rush hour traffic downtown, of course. We do have heavy traffic on our downtown streets with the Eras tour of Taylor Swift in town. Please be careful if you have to exit downtown tonight. Really watch the exit of those parking garages. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The Donald Trump blow-ups on each side of the house
Yes.
really make the scene here.
That's an incredible photo. Can you?
I'll share that on the Hammer and Nigel
Okay.
Facebook as well. It's
Please.
on my personal one now, but I'll share that.
Very impressive.
54, the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
God, I got to thank our producer, Allison, who almost made me tear up in the back office earlier when she came in bearing gifts, not for me, but for my daughter, 10-year-old Harper, who is going to see Taylor Swift for the very first time at the tender age of 10 years old. What, you got her like a purse and some stickers and a
I'm so excited
notebook,
for her.
and that meant a lot. And my wife, I texted those pictures to my wife.
I'm so excited for her and Lindsay. I think
You
all
better
the
be
time.
nice to Allison. You better be getting her things for her, because she's already doing a lot of other stuff for us too. She's been so nice, and I go, Lindsay, it's fine. We give her drinks on the show. That's kind of how we make it.
Oh, she slapped me.
Yeah, and you gave me 2 shots this week, so we'll call
Sounds
it
like you
even.
may need another one there, kid.
Yeah, start loading it up.
But that thank you so much for kind of the.
Oh, please.
And I know there's like a little note in there for Harper. This is going to be her first time at Taylor Swift, so I wanted to play Lindsay, my wife, telling our 10-year-old daughter, because we didn't have tickets, they just fell in our lap last week.
Hottest ticket in Indy in years.
We got lucky. 2 tickets fell in our lap. Here is Lindsay kind of setting up, telling our 10-year-old.
What? Oh my goodness, I'm scared. What?
I'm shaking. I'm legit shaking.
What? Tell me.
We're going to Taylor Swift. What? Sunday concert. We just got
Mom, you do not understand. You do not understand.
Neither does Hammer and Nigel.
You do not understand.
You're right.
I don't understand. That was
cute.
Lindsay telling our daughter for the first time.
Oh, man. And just watching her face, she was so excited.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They'll have
When was the
fun.
last time you were that excited for anything, Nige?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
First time Lindsay took her shirt off.
Probably, yes.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
You just don't understand what this means.
Those are the best in the business, baby. Actually, that's a direct quote, but that's for another show.
So yeah, I hope she has just time of her life, man.
Yeah,
Go-
you too. Allison got in.
Yeah, I did. I got really lucky, and I'm going tonight.
All right.
So you're gonna be singing along to these songs, and you got no voice.
I
at
know.
all.
It's like my body already knew I was going to the concert.
So to get everybody in the mood for a little Taylor Swift this weekend, but also for the election coming up, here's a little Hammer and Nigel Records, written by myself and Jeff Boggs, performed by the amazing Mindy Winkler.
Okay.
It's about Kamala Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff.
How your role has reshaped the perception of masculinity.
He's a real creep. And he's married to the beef.
Do not come. Do not come.
That's what people say. That's what people say. His wife is a buffoon
I haven't been to Europe.
who drinks a lot of booze. That's what people say. That's what people say. But Jen Psaki on MSNBC thinks this tool's reshaping the perception of masculinity.
Come on.
Except when I'm slapping them in the face or banging the nanny.
Cause he's banging all the nannies and he's slapping all the girls he sees.
wow.
Bet he's got a disease. Dug him off.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
A little something to bring it all together from Hammer and Nigel Records.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good? Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet and Security Edge plus Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Unlimited Mobile. And ask how to get up to a $600 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online today. Ends 11/17/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup. Eagle bill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joiner Homes can build you a truly unique custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Joiner Homes have model homes you can visit or go to joinerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing. Also with Joiner Homes, you can start from scratch if you want to. They get lots of 5-star Google reviews. Check them out at joinerhomes.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road. Just listen. What you hear right now, your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department is investigating a shooting that happened on Halloween. Ryan Hetrick reports on a woman who was stabbed in Muncie this week and helped police figure out who did it, and an economist has a few problems with the latest jobs reports. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The rhetoric debate shifts again. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Vice President Kamala Harris calling out what former President Trump said about former Congresswoman Liz Cheney, suggesting she wouldn't support war so easily if she had rifles pointed at her. Harris calls it violent rhetoric and disqualifying.
Trump is increasingly, however, someone who considers his political opponents the enemy, is permanently out for revenge, and is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
Trump doubling down with different words a short time ago, telling reporters Cheney is a war hawk who wants to kill people unnecessarily.
And if she had to do it herself and she had to face the consequences of battle, she wouldn't be doing it.
This as Trump was visiting a coffee shop in Dearborn, Michigan, courting Arab and Muslim voters. The shop's owner telling the Associated Press he wanted to know first that Trump had intentions of ending fighting in Lebanon. Trump posting a statement yesterday in support of pursuing lasting peace in the Middle East. One of the biggest battleground states is still waiting for a U.S. Supreme Court decision over some of its ballots.
Pennsylvania appears to be the epicenter for legal fights, and any time now we could receive that key Supreme Court ruling. This is one that would affect thousands of provisional ballots in the Keystone State. The state's Republican Party wants the U.S. Supreme Court to block a ruling by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that requires election boards to count provisional ballots submitted by voters that were deemed invalid for reasons like being mailed without those secure envelopes that are required. Now, there are at least 3 other Pennsylvania legal challenges in the lower courts involving mail-in ballot applications and the closing of early voting sites.
Fox's David Spont. Wall Street rallies despite a weak jobs report for October. The Dow up 288 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're still looking into it. 53 degrees with clear skies in downtown Indianapolis. You do have a clear radar. Tonight's low drops just below 40. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. A teenager was shot and killed late last night on the east side. IMPD officer Rob Ryder said this was not how Halloween was supposed to go.
It's a great time for the kids, and to have a violent, tragic event happen in their neighborhood really is very disturbing.
If you have any info about what might have happened, give the police department a call. A woman was stabbed this week. Police say she knows who attacked her. Ryan Hedrick reports.
The man's name is Keywine Gibson, and the woman he stabbed had just broke up with him 4 weeks ago. The woman told police that she was coming back from the grocery store when Gibson attacked her. It was a 911 call that led police back to Gibson. He told his roommate about the attack, and the roommate called police. When police responded to the home, they found the knife in his car. He told them that he didn't know what happened. He's facing multiple charges, including attempted murder. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Only 12,000 new jobs were added to the U.S. economy last month, says the latest report from labor statistics. UIndy economist Dr. Matt Will says the biggest issue with the report is the revisions to the last 2 jobs reports.
Down 112,000. So remember that good report we saw last month and the month before? We're talking about, are these anomalies? Are these real? They were anomalies.
Dr. Will tells WIBC's Tony Katz big tech companies like Amazon and Google are keeping the market up. And with Taylor Swift performing in Indianapolis this weekend, IMPD wants you and other concert goers to be safe. They said so in a video to their YouTube page.
Let's have a great time, enjoy the concerts and all the festivities, and let's all get home swiftly and safely. Hey, Indianapolis! Are you ready for it?
Swift is performing at Lucas Oil Stadium. First concert is tonight, second one Saturday, third one Sunday. Indianapolis is the final stop of the U.S. portion of the Eras Tour. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Lynn just hates painting in the fall, so she called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came and we discussed what we wanted done. And this time we had the roof done as well.
Formulated for our specific climate here in Indy and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty.
We truly believe in this product.
Now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers. Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic on the 5s at 405, here's Matt Baer.
Inbound 69, stop and go after 116th Street down to 465. East side, southbound 465, loaded from 70 down to South at Shadeland Avenue. Westbound 72 downtown, stop and go traffic before Emerson into the north. Split delay continues down to Fletcher Avenue. Inbound 65 slows MLK to Meridian Pad. Southwest side, southbound 465, stop and go traffic from 70 over to the White River. And the circle is closed. Monument Circle for the duration of the weekend because of Taylor Swift. Traffic sponsored by BJ's Wholesale Club. BJ's Wholesale Club is now open in Carmel. At BJ's, members get up to 25% off grocery store prices every day. Visit bjs.com/Carmel or the brand new club located at Rangeline Crossing to join today. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Friday evening, we're looking at clear skies, winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and a low temperature around 37 degrees here in Indianapolis, likely cooler out in some of the more rural areas. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
He is in the running to be the lieutenant governor of the great state of Indiana. It's the Braun-Beckwith ticket, and the Beckwith is Micah Beckwith. Micah, how are you?
Hey, Micah.
Good. What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
You got it. Now, where are you calling us from, Micah?
Okay. So we're up in Howard County right now in Kokomo. And so we're just leaving an event, and we've got what we call a little bus tour, GOP Get Out the Vote bus tour. And so Mike Braun, Daniel Elliott, Lisa Nishala, Diego, myself, we had Tyler Moore, Jennifer Jacks, the chairwoman up here, and then a bunch of other local officials. Oh, and Randy Head, the state party chairman. So we're all getting out the vote. We're firing people up all over the state.
So, have you ever seen the movie Speed, Micah? The old Keanu Reeves movie?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
I know where you're going with this.
Here's the challenge I have to you. I will donate to your campaign if at some point in that bus ride you just stand up and yell, "We can't go below 55." I just want to see the reaction from Mike Braun and Todd Rokita as you jump up and try to scare the crap out of people.
My gosh. Okay, well, let me work up courage to do that maybe tomorrow. I might see if I can find a place to do that tomorrow, and I'll get it on video. And I'll send it to you. How about that?
And I'm assuming this party bus you're on is going to wind up in front of Lucas Oil later tonight and drop you all off at Taylor Swift. Is that the end result?
I don't think so. That's probably not going to happen. But hey, first of all, how much are we talking about here? How much are you going to donate to the campaign? I want numbers. I want
okay.
numbers.
Back to the.
Yeah, well, I want video. So this is how negotiations work, Micah. Come on now.
Hey, Micah, let me ask you something. I was at church last weekend. Our pastor, I won't mention the church because I know I don't want to mention the competition. This was serious. Our pastor said, and I don't want to misquote him, but something about like there's a stat out there that millions of Christians might not be voting in the United States this year because they don't like either candidate. They don't like Trump and certainly don't like Kamala. And then he went on to explain why that's not a good decision. I'm just wondering your thoughts on the presidential election and maybe the thinking of, because you're a pastor, Life Church, and I'm wondering what you would say to somebody that would say something like that to you.
Yeah, so what he's referring to, there was a study done by Barna in 2022, and it showed that about 40 million Christians in America didn't vote. And so that, I mean, think about that. If Joe Biden, I'll use air quotes here, won in 2020 by 1.5 million votes. If only half of the Christians would have gotten out and voted, And that's been a big part of my platform, is to teach believers and Christians why God is calling us to steward our nation. It's all about stewardship. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about standing for what's right and just getting out and being bold to steward that, because we would all say God gave us our families and we have a job to take care of our families. But somehow when it comes to our nation, we just think, well, God doesn't really care about one nation or not, which is totally false. And so churches need to start preaching that. I'm glad your pastor mentioned that, because it sounds like he's probably doing a good job of making sure everybody knows to get out and vote.
Now, Micah, wanting to take care of your family and your country, another extremist view from a Christian nationalist there. At least that's what I've been told from like Adam Wren and Greg Doyle and Briggs at the Indy Star. Like, how do you deal with the Democrat machine all coming at you for your beliefs?
Well, I don't really lose any sleep over it at all. I mean, have you ever been in like a preschool and the kids start yelling at you and they say you're mean, or they yell mean things at you, and they just don't know what they're talking about, right? It's like, or they'll be like, you don't look good, or something like that. Like, they'll say stupid little nonsensical things. Well, you don't worry about it, because they just don't know what they're talking. They're kids, right? And I feel like when I'm dealing with some of the Indy Star and some of the media, I'm playing at a different level than they are, because I'm not going to play these like woke games with them. It's like, hey, listen, guys, you don't even know what a woman is, so I'm not really going to lose sleep when you say you call me some name, because you don't even know basic biology. So that's kind of how I deal with it, and I want to know what people think about me, who I respect, and I know they have a handle on reality, and they're wise, and they've got a history of proving themselves as being people with wisdom. And those are the people that I care about what they say about me, and I respect their opinions. But when it comes to Indy Star and the media, I don't lose a lot of sleep over it.
Micah Beckwith joining us. He's on the ticket with Mike Braun. Big election coming up on Tuesday. Micah, I've heard you give this speech before, but I think it's really important. I went to an event the other night. You were there, gave a great speech. But I really started thinking about this on the drive home. When you go to other states, let's say you go to Florida, and you ask a group of voters, who's the conservative leader in the state? It doesn't matter where you're at in Florida, you're going to get the unanimous answer. That's probably Ron DeSantis. In Texas, if you do that, you probably are going to get Greg Abbott. You brought up the question the other day, and I think it's fascinating. Who is the conservative leader right now in the state of Indiana?
Yeah. Or just the leader in general, right? Like that. So I've been doing that little exercise for the last year around the state. I'll go to Republican functions. I'll say, on the count of three, I want everyone to yell out who our leader is in Indiana. And never once have I got a unified name. It might be maybe Jim Banks or Jason Hammer or Rob Kendall. I don't know. Like that's actually never happened. But it's never a unified consensus. And then I said, hey, who do you think the GOP in Florida would say if I gave this little exercise down there? And everybody knows it's Ron DeSantis, and it proves the point that we don't have leadership right now in Indiana. We've been lacking bold, courageous leadership, not even just conservative leadership, just leadership in general. And so, back in the Mitch Daniel days, if we would have said, hey, who's our leader? I think the majority of Republicans would have said, hey, it's Mitch. He's given us vision. He's leading us into the night. He's charging the hill, and we're following him. But I've been saying we've been lacking leadership pretty desperately over the last few years. And so I think Mike Braun's going to bring that. I think Mike's a courageous guy. I think he believes that he's got some really good vision, and he's laying it out for the state. And I think people are catching it. And so I think it's going to be great to have strong leadership again in Indiana. We need it, because it'll take us from being a good state to being really a great state.
What do you think the top three issues are for this state in Indiana? Your thoughts, and of course, Senator Braun running for governor. What do you think the top three issues that are going to determine the outcome of this election here in Indiana?
Well, first thing is economics, right? So things like taxes, property taxes. People, the Biden administration is killing us financially. I mean, that's just Democrat policies, destroy people's pocketbooks. That has been true for the last few decades, and we're seeing it firsthand. And so no matter what the Michael Hicks of the world say, everyone is feeling it, and it's because of the Biden administration. So that's the first thing. The other thing is really protecting our next generation. our kids in the school systems. A lot of our school systems are broken right now. We have, third graders that can't read because of what the nonsense we went through for during COVID. We've got DEI and woke agendas infiltrating our schools. And so parents are really concerned about that. So I hear about that one a lot too. So those are probably the two biggest issues. And then I think it goes back down to the philosophy of leadership. And I think that's the other aspect is people want to know they can believe in their leader again. This guy's going to go to bat for us. When we're fighting the federal government, we're not going to have some leader that kind of cowers in the corner or takes a bribe from Washington, but will stand up for what's right. And so those are probably the three main things that I hear most often when I'm traveling. I think Mike's been hearing it too because he's been saying a lot of the same things that I just rattled off to you guys.
Last thing here before we let you go. Again, chatting with Micah Beckwith here. I asked this question to your running mate the other day, Senator Braun, and I want to ask you the same thing. First 100 days. Let's say you guys win this thing. What role do you see yourself in, and what will you be doing the first 100 days?
First 100 days is going to be looking at the efficiencies of your government. So the state of Indiana is going to be trimming fat. We're to be rolling back the curtain, looking behind the curtain, making sure that we're not wasting money, and we are going to get it running like a well-oiled machine. So Mike's already been laying out that vision. My office will be doing the same thing, and the LG's office. We want to audit the state agencies and make sure that they are absolutely functioning at the highest possible level, and they're efficient. We're not just spending to spend. We are spending money wisely, and we are cutting where we can to help save money to taxpayers because everyone else has to tighten their belts right now. The government should be doing the same thing. And so that will be really the first 100 days is just a fine-tooth comb from an entrepreneurial standpoint. And Mike, I mean, he hits that all the time. I mean, he's going to bring that entrepreneurial skill set into the governor's office, that executive branch, and then obviously working with the legislature because we'll be in the height of the session, and so pushing through some of those legislative agendas that I mentioned earlier, and also that Mike's been hitting on as he's out traveling the state.
Indiana Lieutenant Governor candidate Micah Beckwith. Micah, we appreciate your time. Best of luck to you. And when you get back on that bus with all of your buddies there, have them crank up the Hammer and Nigel show.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, Matt Baer, what's going on?
Inbound 70 stop and go traffic, Shadeland Avenue through the North Split down to Fletcher. Inbound 65 stop and go from MLK to Meridian Penn, 14-minute delay. Eastbound 70 slow from Harding Street into the South Split. Northeast side, inbound 69 stop and go, 106th Street to 465. Eastbound 465 on the northeast side, stop and go from Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Monument Circle is closed for the weekend for the Taylor Swift concert. Watch out for Penn. It's going to be busy because of that circle closure. Traffic sponsored by Honda of Fishers. Fall brings falling leaves and falling prices. Visit Honda of Fishers now for great deals on new and used Hondas. Visit Honda of Fishers in person or online at hondaoffishers.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
54 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
You heard about this guy, Donald Rainwater?
I sure have. Guy was a deadbeat dad. Total loser. Not only did Rainwater repeatedly fail to pay his child support, he filed for bankruptcy and had his car repossessed. But what did a court find he spent the money on? Cigarettes.
Hasn't he run for office twice before and lost each time?
Sure has. Maybe that's why he wants the job, so taxpayers pay off all his debts.
But there's someone even worse than Rainwater. This Jennifer McCormick character is a really out there liberal.
Yeah. She's a pro-Biden and pro-Kamala liberal. She opposed school choice, she supports boys in the girls' locker room, and did you hear what she said about Hillary Clinton?
Did you vote for Hillary Clinton?
She had some great, world foreign experience, so I did vote for Hillary Clinton.
Jennifer McCormick, she's hopelessly liberal.
I'm not voting for Rainwater or McCormick. They're both losers in my book.
Paid for by Indiana Republican State Committee, Inc.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9379. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9379. That's 800-575-9379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Indiana has nearly 2,800 pig farmers and ranks 5th in the country in pork production. Hoosier pig farmers are raising some of the finest pork in the nation. October is National Pork Month. From family farms to innovative operations, Indiana's pig farmers are committed to quality and sustainability, all while providing your family pork that's packed with protein, vitamins, and minerals that are good for you. So the next time you're at the grocery store or your favorite restaurant, make pork your choice and celebrate Indiana pig farmers.
The Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. For hunting, sporting, and personal protection gear, visit the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Big Nige, is this anything?
I want to get Matt Bear, if Matt Bear's listening back there too, if you want to get the headphones on and the microphone up, because he's a huge, irrational, passionate Colts fan, just like I am. And that's
you guys are peas in a pod when it comes to the Colts.
Yeah.
So, former NFL quarterback Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He was the MVP in 2015, I believe, with the Carolina Panthers. A lot of people compare Anthony Richardson to the way Cam Newton was coming out of college. Big, strong, freakishly strong athlete. Mobile, can run. So on his podcast, former NFL quarterback Cam Newton just tore up Anthony Richardson of the Colts. So again, keep in mind, Richardson getting compared to Cam Newton a lot, coming out of Florida into the draft. Take a listen to what Cam Newton had to say after this past weekend.
Anthony Richardson. When I look over the last year or so, when you was taken extremely high, you made certain quotes over this past offseason of you saying things like this.
See, playing in the NFL, I feel like it's easier than college.
You can't say that and also say this.
Anthony, can you explain just you subbing out? Were you hurt? Were you injured? Were you tired?
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie.
You're in the big leagues now, guy. It's the big leagues. A lot of guys are in college and they're thinking like, oh, man, bro, I'm going to dominate. No, you just think you're going to do what Lamar Jackson does. You just think you're going to do what Peyton Manning and Tom Brady do. No, it's not. This shit ain't easy. This game is not easy, bro. When I'm looking at a stat line that says you go 10 for 32 for 175 yards, 1 touchdown and an egregious interception. Bro, egregious. Bro, egregious. You can't do that. And that's why you see a guy like Lamar Jackson get the flowers, because what he does isn't easy. You took the easy route when you tapped your head and said, damn, bro, I'm tired. What the f***? You're a professional. You don't get to say that shit. That's the easy way. You don't get to say that. You don't get to say playing the NFL is freaking easy and you doing that shit like that.
I didn't know Cam Newton, former NFL quarterback, was such a flamethrower. Yes, I believe and endorse and approve everything he just said about current Colts backup quarterback, Anthony Richardson. Yes, that is something. Is Matt Bear with us?
Yeah, I have no interest in watching Sunday night's game against the Minnesota Vikings right now because Anthony Richardson.
I disagree with that.
No, I have no interest
really?
Because Anthony Richardson is not playing, and I am so upset as a Colts fan about this. Why not just sit him down for a game? Because he took himself out, right? He took himself out of the game, sat a play out, and everybody's like, what the hell, man? Why not just sit him for a game and then go forward with Anthony Richardson after the Vikings game? Why can't you do that?
I'll offer a counterpoint. He sucks.
Oh, man.
That's a counterpoint.
Oh.
Like, listen, I'm a Colts fan too. And I'm rooting for this guy. Like, for a Tennessee Vol like me to be rooting for a Florida Gator, you have to know I'm a Colts fan. But man, he ain't got it.
But isn't this
the problem?
And just to be clear, the Colts have Shane Steichen and the Colts have said he's the backup quarterback for the rest of the year.
Right.
Not just,
this isn't a 1 week slap of the wrist.
That's what Matt Bear's talking about. So I have huge interest in watching this game Sunday. I can't actually. That's where the first time I've ever disagreed with Matt Bear. I think.
Well, I'm
very curious.
Yeah, the thing about it is, Joe Flacco's not the future unless he can play until he's 46.
He's the future now.
Yeah, he's the future.
Is it win now? Isn't win now the attitude in the NFL?
Not mine. It is in the NFL,
Wow.
but I think a lot of the fans are like, okay, we've been in this quarterback purgatory for about a decade now. When do we finally get our future? And Anthony Richardson was told to us over and over again that he is the future of the franchise. It's not going to be Joe Flacco. Take what you've got. Get the draft pick if you have to. Otherwise, you're going to the playoffs. And what? We're going to Arrowhead? Are we going to Baltimore? What's going to happen there?
Did I just get like schooled by? It was like Bill O'Reilly schooling Mark Cuban in that clip. Matt Bear just destroyed my argument.
I've got a lot of pent-up aggression about this.
I get it. I want to win. I want to win now. I think Flacco is the best chance at it.
And I think we're burying the lead here. Cam Newton's like, hey, don't compare me to that quitter. Whoa, hey.
Right.
I don't think he's been an MVP before here, kids. Is this anything? An LA Dodgers fan was celebrating the big World Series win and decided to do it with fireworks.
Oh.
Blew off his hand.
Oh, no. His hand?
And a few fingers on the other hand. Here's the moment that the celebratory firework went off.
Oh, his hand blew. I know it did. Oh, my goodness, bro.
I didn't hear any screaming in the background. I was just like, oh, look at his hand. Bro, he blew off. Bro, you blew off your hand.
Yeah, could you call 911, please? Yes. Maybe put your phone down and call 911.
It's like old school when Frank the Tank gets a dart in his neck. You got an effing dart in your neck, man. You're crazy. You blew off your hand, bro. You're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah, there's video of it. I decided not to watch it. I can't watch something like that. There's video on TMZ. I hope he's okay. Well, obviously he's not okay.
He's not okay, Nige. Narrator, he's not okay. He's missing a hand and multiple fingers on the other one. Which brings us to great moments in fireworks history.
Oh, boy.
Little reminder that Mike Pence used to sit in this chair and deliver the news of the day on his program. And now it's great moments in fireworks history. This is what it sounds like when a bottle rocket goes off stuck in a guy's butt.
Oh, no.
The common denominator in all of these is everybody laughing. Everybody laughing. And, of course, if you're going to have great moments in fireworks history.
Here we go.
It's got to be Wheelchair Terry.
Hey, hold on.
What are you doing?
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus.
He's in a wheelchair.
What you doing, Terry?
He can't get away from it.
Great moments in fireworks history.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting on Halloween. 53 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. No rain to worry about on your radar. Low of about 39 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:31. A teenager was shot and killed late Thursday on the east side. IMPD officer Rob Ryder says it's another disappointing situation for investigators.
Halloween's supposed to be a time where you're out with your family and having fun. And
if you know anything, give IMPD a call. Both vice presidential candidates are hosting rallies in the same state. Fox's Jeff Manasso reports.
Vice presidential nominees Republican J.D. Vance and Democrat Tim Walz both rallying supporters in the battleground state of Michigan.
Our people are telling us they can't even afford to pay their bills, and we have an opportunity to give them new leadership and to take this country in a different direction.
Vance in Portage, Walz in Detroit.
I'm here today is to humbly ask you on behalf of Kamala Harris and myself for your vote to take us forward.
Michigan was won or lost in the last 2 presidential cycles by a very thin margin. Same in Wisconsin. That's where former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris both hold dueling rallies in Milwaukee tonight. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Only 12,000 new jobs were added to the U.S. economy last month, says the latest report from labor statistics. UIndy economist Dr. Matt Will says the biggest issue with this report is the revisions to the last 2 jobs reports.
Down 112,000. So remember that good report we saw last month and the month before? We were talking about, are these anomalies? Are these real? They were anomalies.
Dr. Will tells WIBC's Tony Katz big tech companies like Amazon and Google are keeping the market up. And with Taylor Swift performing in Indianapolis this weekend, IMPD says concert goers need to make sure they stay safe.
Let's have a great time, enjoy the concerts and all the festivities, and let's all get home swiftly and safely. Hey, Indianapolis! Are you ready for it?
Swift will be performing at Lucas Oil Stadium 3 nights. First one tonight, last one Sunday. Indianapolis is the final city in the U.S. portion of the Eras Tour. And a good way to close the week in the market. The Dow increasing by 288 to 42,052. The NASDAQ up by 144 to 18,239. And the S&P 500 up by 23, closing the week at 5,728. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:33.
Hey, folks. Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field. I'm running to represent you at the State House, and I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
With traffic at 434, here's Matt Baer.
Booney, southbound 65 stop and go traffic after State Road 47 to US 52. On the northeast side, eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. Inbound 69 loaded before 106th Street, 282nd. Looking at the east side, inbound 70 stop and go from Emerson Avenue to downtown. Southbound 465 is slow before 70 down to South Shadeland Avenue. Southbound 65 stop and go traffic 21st to the north split. And on the southwest side, southbound 465 stop and go from 72 Man Road. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Friday evening, we're looking at clear skies, winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and a low temperature around 37 degrees here in Indianapolis, likely cooler out in some of the more rural areas. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers. That's why the Indiana State Police Alliance has endorsed Todd Rokita for re-election. They know Todd Rokita is protecting our jobs, protecting us from crime, and working to end illegal immigration, always putting Hoosiers first. Attorney General Todd Rokita is fighting to protect Hoosiers.
Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
You recognize it and report it? These folks did.
My landlord said rent will be cheaper if we're friends with benefits.
Because I'm legally blind, a landlord questioned whether I'd be capable of maintaining an apartment.
Our real estate agent said a different neighborhood with people like us might better suit our family.
To learn more about housing discrimination, visit HUD.gov/fair housing. Fair housing is your right. Use it. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Takes everyone in the community working together to create a brighter future. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Visit liveunited.org to learn how you can help.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Hopefully going to hook up with Gunnery Sergeant and Veterans for Trump Executive Director Jane Duff, one of our favorites.
Oh, she's a flamethrower
on this show.
She is a rock star. She is awesome.
Scheduled to appear. We're trying to get a hold of her right now.
And this is in regards to what Mark Cuban had to say about women around Donald Trump. Basically, Mark Cuban, goes on camera. I think he was on The View, and he's trying to get a cheap applause line from the crowd and says that smart, intelligent women, strong women, are not around Donald Trump, which is incredibly insulting to a lot of people. And joining us now on the hotline, somebody that would like to respond to one Mr. Cuban, Gunnery Sergeant and Veterans for Trump Executive Director Jane Duff. Gunnery Sergeant, you were the first person I thought of when I saw Mark Cuban's big head pop up on The View and start running his mouth. I'm curious as to your perspective.
Well, it's really funny. A lot of my friends said the same thing. I thought, wow, I must have a very fierce response to have such a solid reputation. But this is good. This is a good thing. So, honestly, I did a video. I pinned it to my Twitter profile, and I said, Mark, do you really think I'm not strong or intelligent? I said, President Trump selected me to be his executive director of Veterans for Trump in his 2024 campaign. And then I went on. Here it is. You can go back decades and see where President Trump has surrounded himself with strong and intelligent women. No one has ever made that man insecure. Back in 1980, he picked a 31-year-old woman. Her name was Barbara Rez, R-E-S, and she was selected to be in charge of his construction of, guess what, the Trump Tower, the first woman ever for a skyscraper in New York City. And here she worked for him 18 years. Fast forward to 2016, he had a female that ended up being the winning campaign manager, for first woman ever to win in a campaign, presidential campaign. Kellyanne, that was his campaign manager. He is picked first many times, and he is surrounded with a plethora of women, confident women. So, obviously he's ignorant, but I have other things that I did tell him if you'd like to hear.
Please, by all means, don't hold back.
And let's not forget, I would say Kayleigh McEnany and Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who went on to be the 47th governor of Arkansas, for God's sake.
The list is endless.
It's
First
endless.
of all, the list is endless, but I pivoted very quickly on him. I started with the people that people don't know, such as Barbara Rez, and I went on to say to him, maybe you should look a little closer at Kamala Harris, because she has had a 91% turnover rate since she has picked up vice president, which means that strong and intelligent women can't even work for her. Let's move on and look at all of the women that have been either assaulted, raped, or even murdered by the criminal illegals that she is allowed to come over this border because she has failed to protect women and children. And need we not forget the over 300,000 children that this administration has completely forgotten and or lost, who are no longer with the women in their lives, such as their mothers. They're possibly being human trafficked. They're also probably being marketed into some type of labor, or they could even be potentially dead. So here, Mark, maybe you need to look in the mirror and to ask yourself, are you smart? Are you intelligent? Are you strong? Because I question if he had even done his homework on Kamala Harris, who has never been an advocate for women. And I dare to ask everybody, name one woman that we've seen out there that has assisted or benefited or worked with Kamala Harris. You can't name one.
And that's the thing. Like we talked about this earlier, all the mouthpieces for Kamala Harris right now are like Mark Cuban and, Hollywood celebrities. Where are the politicians? Where are the female and the male politicians coming out to support her? You can't find it anywhere.
You don't even have people like myself who are just spokespeople that have worked in the military, or people who have worked in industry, people that are not necessarily brand names on television, but they're brand names in their industry. We're not seeing anybody like that because, they have a failed campaign. So let's just go back a step. He wants to say that Donald Trump can't surround himself with strong or intelligent women. But she went on to declare that it was a Nazi rally over at Madison Square Garden. She went on to suggest that, Trump was Hitler. She has nothing other than name calling. And then let's fast forward. She wants to give her grand presentation in front of the Ellipse in Washington, D.C. And meanwhile, her boss, in his catonic state of whatever he's in, decides to get on a Zoom call and call all of the Trump supporters garbage. No matter what we do, when they try to take a headline, give it 24 hours, because Kamala Harris and her campaign is going to drop the ball and shift all the attention back onto them. They want to scream and yell at us at a comedian who was in Madison Square Garden, who doesn't even know the president, wasn't even selected by the president, had been on stage several hours before the president, and anybody who ever follows that comedian know that he is quite harsh and abrasive to everybody on the planet. But they want to scream and holler about that. But give it. Just hold your breath. You don't even have to hold it long, because they will drop the ball, and here comes Joe Biden calling everybody garbage who supports or works with or is ever even invested with Donald J. Trump. So it's actually quite humorous. This campaign of theirs is a campaign of errors, communication problems. I would just say their campaign slogan is just hold your breath and see what we'll give you, or you got to vote for me before we'll tell you what we're going to do, kind of like that Obamacare bill. You have to pass it before we can read it. Well, that kind of sounds like her campaign slogan. Vote for me, and then you can figure out what I'm about.
Gunnery Sergeant and Veterans for Trump Executive Director Jane Duff with us. Last thing here before we let you go, we're going to play you a little piece of audio here. This is Kamala Harris the other day at her big Washington, D.C. swamp rally talking about how she is the preferred candidate for the military. Take a listen.
As Commander-in-Chief, I will make sure America has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world. Donald Trump, on the other hand, has shown his contempt for our nation's heroes, calls them suckers and losers, called a 4-star Marine general a, quote, lowlife. I will always honor, never denigrate, the service and sacrifice of our troops and their families.
That was Kamala Harris in D.C. There's a lot to unpack there, but what do you think?
Well, it's absolutely absurd that they want to keep running with the suckers and losers. Every time we hear that, we know that that was debunked how many times. And I'm sorry, General Kelly was, really a defective man to get into the White House. It's quite evident by everybody who worked with him. He was unhappy in that role. He became an office manager. This is a 4-star general walking in thinking he's going to have everybody paying attention to him. And he was disgruntled from day one. And when he left that office, he was supposed to stay and give Mulvaney transition, and he never showed back up. I'm sorry, the ego preceded himself, and that is a fact. We have over 230 admirals and flag officers, basically generals and admirals, that signed a letter of endorsement for President Trump. And General Kelly's name is not on that. And that letter was signed actually 3 weeks before General Kelly decided he was going to go on his Hear Me Now Roar tour with his, Trump's a Hitler comment, which nobody can validate. Not a single witness to anything. But let's go back. Kamala Harris has never honored the military. She is full of it. 13 people died. She never said their names. The 13 Gold Star families never met with her. She has never even showed up when they were invited. They were invited to the ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and they decided they were invited twice, as a matter of fact, and they decided to snub it and not show up. That is such flagrant disrespect. She never mentioned the names of the 3 National Guardsmen that were killed by the Houthi drone that was backed by Iran. In Jordan, guess who's going to have us in war? I'm sure she will make sure we're lethal, because she just seems to want to stir the pot with Iran, give them billions of dollars, and that's why we have Houthis, Hamas, and Hezbollah attacking Israel every single day, and Iran is not done yet. I know for this a fact that Iran is trying to, in every way possible, stir that pot, destroy Israel, remove them off the planet. And what has the Biden-Harris administration done to resolve it? Zero, other than funneling money over there to those that have enabled those proxies. And let's add on to the list that we have seen the Ukraine war just fester to a boiling point, and they just want to keep it on the back burner simmering as long as it sucks every bit of American dollars that it possibly can. What is she going to do for the military? She's going to guarantee that we stay in war and your sons and daughters will get drafted to support their addiction of supporting the military-industrial complex. That is my 2 cents. This woman has no respect, and I dare to challenge her. How many veterans signed up for her coalition? We have over 190,000 veterans, the largest coalition ever in the history of any president, living or deceased or anyway, sitting in office or out of office. We have an enormous coalition, and she does not have 230-plus flag officers that have got their endorsement for Donald J. Trump.
And that is why she is a favorite of the Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah.
Gunnery Sergeant, Veterans for Trump Executive Director, and American Badass, Jane Duff. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, and looking forward to Tuesday.
Thank you so much. I'm ready, and everybody take the hill and get out and vote.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you're a foodie or you just like food in general, you got to get your tickets to the World Food Championships happening November 8th through the 12th. This is literally one of the world's most prestigious culinary competitions. Over 300 cooking teams, 1,200 chefs represented by nearly 40 countries. You got to get your tickets at worldfoodchampionships.com.
And it's all going down at the Indiana Farm Bureau Fall Creek Pavilion at the State Fairgrounds. I cannot wait for this. Cooking demonstrations, samples, celebrity chefs, samples, fire pits, samples, barbecue, samples, worldfoodchampionships.com. Get your tickets.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
I had the ring already. She had made it very clear what kind of ring she wanted.
Yep.
I pretended that I was going to kneel and picked up a pine cone instead of pulling out a ring.
What a jerk. But when I saw that ring, I was like, oh, he did good.
I really love Amy. I really, really genuinely love Amy.
I love you too. At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Rampant crime, crumbling roads, unaffordable housing, open borders, and high inflation. That's Andre Carson's record after 16 years in Congress. Have you had enough yet? It's time for John Schmitz, an Indy native who's working for safe streets, an end to inflation, and a bright future for Indy. John Schmitz has the experience, creativity, and energy to tackle the issues holding back Indianapolis. Help make Schmitz happen. Vote John Schmitz for Congress. Learn more at johnschmitzforcongress.com. I'm John Schmitz. I approve this message paid for by Schmitz for Indiana.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust, right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Research shows smoking costs Indiana businesses $3.1 billion every year. It also shows that an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes would drastically reduce smoking, which could save lives, create jobs, and infuse the state of Indiana with hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Read the reports from the Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation at thepriceofsmoking.org and see for yourself how an extra $2 per pack tax on cigarettes can have a positive impact on Hoosiers.
Hi, this is Richard Stevenson. Need heating service in Johnson, Morgan, or Hendricks County? Give us a call, 317-557-8532.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
This week at Sundown Gardens, it's 30% off container trees, shrubs, and interior fall decor. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Matt Baer, what's up?
Southbound 65 stop-and-go traffic from MLK to the North Split, 14-minute delay. Looking at southbound 465 on the east side, stop-and-go before 70 down to south at Shadeland. Inbound 70, a big-time drag. Shadeland Avenue into the North Split, 13-minute delay. And up in Boone County, southbound 65 stop-and-go after State Road 47 to US 52. That's a construction zone. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road at North Shadeland or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
54 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Hammer, you ever put on a Croc? You wear Crocs? You own Crocs?
I don't, but I've seen my kids wear them before.
Yeah, they're very popular with kids, and schools are now, of course, banning Crocs.
Thanks, Biden.
These young kids are tripping over them now. There's some sort of safety concern. Yeah, it's all Joe Biden's fault. Crocs are basically like what, this rubbery sort of
open-toed, sometimes a little closed-toed.
Yeah, there's holes in them to let them breathe.
Like a sandal almost.
There's a Georgia mom disagreeing with her child's school banning Crocs.
There is a condition in regards to like sandals and shoes with open backs. Crocs are somewhere in the middle. I guess it's up to interpretation. To say that it's a safety issue is kind of where he's saying that does not make sense. Nurses wear them. People in food service wear them.
I mean, my kid plays football in them in the front yard with their neighbors.
Doesn't break any ankles doing
that? I'm like, dude, put on some regular tennis shoes. He's like, Crocs are fine. Like, he's so, both of my kids, my son and my daughter, Connor he did this while we were on fall break. He had like some dirty white Crocs that he wears. We went to the Croc store at the outlets down by Great Wolf Lodge one day, and he bought brand new white Crocs, the exact same thing.
He likes what he likes.
Like, I could have put him in we could have put him in the wave pool and cleaned the old pair off, and it'd be perfectly white. Now we got to spend $30 or however much they are. I don't know how much they are.
Look, I bet Donald Trump has multiple blue suits and red ties.
True.
If Connor wants multiple pairs of white Crocs,
but I think
he likes what he likes.
I've never put Crocs on before. I kind of want to see what all the hype is about. They've been around for a long time. It seemed like white, doughy, adult, middle-aged males were the ones that were wearing them, and now it's all high school and middle school kids.
Right. So, like, when we were 17, 18, junior, senior in high school, you dressed up nice, you put on cologne, you wanted to look good.
Yeah, right?
Kids going into high school now, and trust me, I know this, Crocs, pajama pants,
that's it.
A hoodie in the summer, no coat in the winter, because that doesn't make any sense. And that's how it is. Like, you're lucky if they've even taken a shower, man. That's a whole new ball game.
I thought you were going to say something else. I don't know why.
What did you think I was going to say?
I can't say it.
Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, you can't tease us like that. Deliver. You got 10 seconds.
What else rhymes or starts with SH? I didn't think they were going to take a shh.
Oh, okay. All you had to do was say that.
I can't.
Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. The Christmas season. I just love it. Won't you join us this Thursday through Sunday for our Christmas open house at all of our locations? You'll find the best prices of the season on Christmas gifts, ornaments, collectibles, accents, and more. Come in and pick up your open house coupons for additional savings up to 50% off select items. You'll also want to look at Indiana's largest selection of pre-lit Christmas trees ranging from 2 to 14 foot tall. And this Thursday through Sunday, save an extra 10% off all artificial Christmas trees, already reduced 30%. And again, at our 71st and Keystone store, climb aboard the Sullivan Express train and visit Santa. Book your tickets at sullivanhardware.com. Best prices of the season this Thursday through Sunday. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn in Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan, 114th and Allisonville Road in Fishers.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
At Shane Company, we'll help you create a ring as unique as your love story. We have the biggest selection of diamonds in all shapes and sizes, and center stones in an array of colors, including sapphires in blue, pink, green, lavender, and more. Just the other day, a couple picked out a blue sapphire that perfectly matched her eyes, and they left knowing her ring was truly one of a kind. That's what happens at Shane Company. Come check us out. You might just fall in love with something unexpected. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Get ready to shake it off before the big show. Get your tickets to the Fearless Karaoke Brunch Fest at Nevermore Downtown on November 2nd and 3rd from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with a themed buffet, bottomless cocktails, and endless fun. Sing your heart out with karaoke. Create friendship bracelets and compete in our costume contest. Tickets start at $40 for the buffet or upgrade to the boozy brunch for $75, including unlimited mimosas, sangria, and Bloody Marys. All ages welcome. Tickets at swiftbrunchfest.com.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. $10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Did you know that people born from 1945 to 1965 have the highest rates of hepatitis C, but most don't know they're infected? People can live for decades without symptoms, but over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems.
Your local news coming up in 2 minutes after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
4 days to go. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. And Vice President Kamala Harris is urging voters to imagine former President Trump back in the Oval Office.
Because he spends full time plotting revenge and retribution. Full time. The man is angry.
Contrasting what she calls Trump's enemies list with her to-do list.
And at the top of my list is bringing down your cost of living. And it will be my focus every single day as president.
She's holding multiple events in Wisconsin, where Trump has a rally later today after one that just began in Michigan.
This has been the thrill of a lifetime for me and for you and for everybody. And now we want to take that thrill and turn it into let's do business, right? Let's do business.
Nationwide, more than 67 million Americans have already voted.
Now in Wisconsin tonight, the campaign says the former president will focus on the economy. The latest Fox News polling shows Trump's lead on the issue is virtually erased. He's now leading Harris by only 2 percentage points. There's a new memo from Trump's chief pollster maintaining that the Real Clear Politics polling averages show Trump is in a significantly better position in the swing states than he was just 4 years ago. Tony Fabrizio says it's not to stoke overconfidence, but he's noting victory is within reach.
Fox's Rich Edson in Milwaukee. A deadly mass shooting in downtown Orlando overnight remains under investigation, with 2 people dead, 6 injured, and a teenager in custody.
It's unfortunate that the changes in the state concealed weapons laws have made it even easier for people to carry guns and bring guns downtown. Honestly, I am frustrated to have to stand in front of you all and again share the news that we have senselessly lost another life due to gun violence.
Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer issuing a local state of emergency to stop alcohol sales at midnight in the downtown entertainment area and impose a curfew. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A shooting on Halloween. Skies are mostly clear with temperatures in the mid-50s. You got a clear radar as well. Low of about 39 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A teenager was shot and killed on the east side Thursday. Jake McDaniel reports.
It happened near Cumberland Road and East 21st while kids were out trick-or-treating.
Halloween's supposed to be a time where you're out with your family and having fun. And
IMPD officer Rob Ryder tells Wish TV.
It's a great time for the kids, and to have a violent, tragic event happen in their neighborhood really is very disturbing.
So far, no arrests, but police do not believe there are any lingering threats to the public. They also haven't said if they're looking for any suspect. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
2 families in Indianapolis are suing over the shooting deaths of 2 men last year. Both were shot by IMPD officers. Darcel Edwards in October and Leandre Houston in November. Both were unarmed at the time. Attorney Nathaniel Lee says in Edwards' case, he was suffering from a mental illness.
One of the telltale signs, he said, call my mama. You know, you're not going to shoot somebody. You want your mom to come to the scene.
The families of both men claim the shootings were not justified and are taking IMPD to court in a civil case. The department has no comment on the lawsuit. The latest jobs report shows only 12,000 new jobs added last month.
That's far below the expected 100,000. I'm Donnie Burgess. UIndy economist Dr. Matt Will says the latest report from labor statistics also showed negative revisions to the last two jobs reports. Overall, the market is still responding positively.
Amazon released their earnings yesterday. Google had their earnings before. Earnings from those big AI tech firms are phenomenal. These companies in the AI world are still driving the market. It's impressive. So the market's up because of that.
And this is the last jobs report before Election Day. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indy Metro Police are using some of Taylor Swift's song titles and their tips and tricks to stay safe this weekend.
Be a mastermind and know where you're going and where you're going to park.
Make sure you stay on the sidewalks, and if you're going to use the crosswalks, make sure you're using them appropriately.
Don't ruin your reputation. Enjoy the concert and other events responsibly. Leave the bad blood at home. Be respectful and courteous of everyone around you.
Don't let the jail wagon be your getaway car.
All from an IMPD video posted to their YouTube page. Taylor Swift has 3 concerts this weekend. The first is tonight. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 5:04.
As summer fades and the cool breeze of fall sets in, it's the perfect time to get back to the basics, especially when it comes to your financial future. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe in simplifying your retirement plan. Our team of advisors help you build a customized retirement strategy that is designed to help reduce risk, increase income, and mitigate tax. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your plan, we're here to guide you every step of the way. It's never too early or too late to make sure your financial future is secure. Text BASICS to 888-494-5004 to download your complimentary retirement planning toolkit today. That's BASICS to 888-494-5004. Howard Bailey Financial. Back to the basics. Forward to your future. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Baer.
South Street is closed for the Taylor Swift concert between Capitol Avenue and Delaware downtown. Also, Monument Circle shut down. Watch out for Penn. That's going to be busy because you cannot exit onto Market Street because of the circle being closed. Looking at westbound 72 downtown. Stop-and-go traffic, Shadeland Avenue into the north split, and that is a delay time of 15 minutes. Inbound 65, stop-and-go traffic, MLK to the north split for 16-minute delay. Eastbound 70 looks great right now. A little bit slow from Holt Road into West Street. Uncommon for a Friday evening. Inbound 69 stop and go 106th Street to 82nd. East side southbound 465 stop and go traffic from 70 down to South Shadeland Avenue in a crash. Delaware Street south of Fall Creek Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Friday evening, we're looking at clear skies, winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and a low temperature around 37 degrees here in Indianapolis, likely cooler out in some of the more rural areas. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renee Sutis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel, Jason Hammer, and a couple of special in-studio guests.
Donnie Burgess from the WIBC Newsroom and defense attorney to a attorney and host of the Gun Guy Show, Guy Relford, joining us in studio. And again, I know I say this a lot, but thank you guys so much for coming in to do this segment. The amount of positive feedback we get about this segment, Donnie delivering the facts, Guy delivering his opinion from an attorney standpoint. I think this is what separates WIBC from any other coverage of this trial in the state of Indiana. All right, Donnie, so earlier today, we had the defense team getting the football, so to speak. The prosecution arrested their case yesterday, so now it's the defense, and they called this behavioral expert from the Indiana Department of Corrections, basically their psych expert, and she had some interesting notes about Richard Allen and the way he was being treated inside the prison.
Yeah, so she gets into a little bit of what Alan appeared to be going through in Westville, and she opened up with. Well, she didn't open up with this statement, but she got to she had no clue why he was assigned there, which was a common question around the time of why is he chained up, locked up in solitary, and she didn't quite understand that. She says he was assessed. He was actually brought to Indianapolis and assessed, mentally, and he was assigned a D code in mental health, which means that he was a person that would benefit from some sort of therapy plan. She talks about how solitary confinement can definitely impact someone's mental health. And I know you guys went through a lot of this earlier, but just to reiterate for people, she goes into detail about how 30 or more days of solitary only happens if the inmate is severely mentally ill, and it keeps people in there. That rule is there to keep people from being in there too long. And she says Alan was gravely disabled. And to put in perspective who this woman is, she was working with Dr. Monica Walla, the psychologist assigned to Richard Allen. So she's well involved in how Alan was progressing during this, or maybe lack of a better term, degressing during this time.
And there's more I want to get to from the morning session, but let me go over to Guy here. So you heard Donnie, this behavioral expert, this psych expert, says that, people in this condition should not be held for more than 30 days. Well, Alan was there for 13 months. And according to the information that we've received, and Donnie backed me up here, this woman testified that he was given some sort of drug, Haldol, I may be pronouncing it wrong, Haldol, this antipsychotic drug, which was delivered involuntarily during this time.
See, all this goes to what we talked a little bit about yesterday, which is the voluntariness and the competency that needs to be present when someone gives a confession. Because if you're not competent to give a confession, or a confession is not truly voluntary, then it shouldn't be held against you, and it shouldn't be a basis of a conviction. And here, and the courts have ruled that long periods of isolation, including being isolated from your counsel, being isolated from your family, being isolated from other human beings, can go directly to the issue of whether you're then competent at the end of that to give a confession. This is all directly applicable to defense theory here, which is, yes, he confessed multiple times, but he was in no mental condition to do so.
Now, Allison, let me go to you, because you searched for this drug earlier in the show. It might have been during a commercial break. We were talking about this. Nigel, hand Allison your microphone quick.
I'm sorry.
Haldol, Haldol, this antipsychotic drug. Again, none of us are pharmacists here, so when you looked this up, what did you find?
Yeah, just with a quick Google search, it said it treats schizophrenia and Tourette syndrome.
Okay, so this is
mental health stuff.
And Nige, go back to Nige here. Again, we're sharing a microphone over here.
That's all right.
We're making it work.
I have a question then, and this is probably an elementary question. You probably have an easy answer for this. So if this psychologist or whoever this person is that was testifying today for the defense, like if you're not competent to give a confession, if you're not mentally stable to give a confession, then how can you be competent to stand trial?
Well, because it's a great question, Nige, because there's different standards. Okay. To be competent to stand trial, you have to be competent in order to provide assistance to your counsel, to understand the proceedings around you, and that is essentially the test to stand trial. It's a different test to say at the time, which may be weeks, months, years earlier, that you gave some confession. Were you competent in that moment to confess to that crime?
Okay.
And so it's a great question, but timing factors in, and it's actually a different standard legally.
Donnie Burgess, we'll go back to you. Again, Donnie is one of the selected reporters from the media that has the ability to go to the court, but also see the notes and share the notes with the media. We understand there were some questions from jurors about what we were talking about here.
Yeah, so the jury started chiming in, and we haven't talked a lot about this, but it should be noted from all the reporters who've been in there, some other people who are providing commentary. This is an incredibly engaged jury, and this is getting a little off topic. We'll get back to this real quick. But when they were talking about DNA, there was someone in the jury who kept asking incredibly technical, like scientific terms of DNA. So someone in that jury has a very well-educated background in DNA. But anyways, the jury starts asking the doctor about, is it possible Alan would fake things so he wouldn't be moved in the general population? She says, well, it's possible, but she doesn't know for sure. And someone said, is it possible he could slip in some truth into a confession, even when faking some psychosis? And she says, again, that's very hard to tell, but yes, it is possible. But then she says up here, when we get back to Alan getting that involuntary shot, she said at a certain point, he was decomposing so much that it really didn't matter if he was faking it or not. They needed to intervene.
And those were the photos we saw of Richard Allen when he looked real frail and fragile and sick and all that kind of stuff.
Well, let me tell you about jury questions. These are incredibly important. And that is, typically when you're during a trial, you're a trial lawyer. When you hear the jury has passed a note to the judge, they have a question. First of all, you're all about what that question is going to be, because that indicates to you what the jury's paying attention to, what they're interested in, and it may give you an indication of which way they're leaning. So they're incredibly important. And there have been times where, you'll be outside the courtroom and you'll get a call from the court clerk. It says, the jury has a question, and all the lawyers go screaming over there, and because you're so interested in what that question is going to be. And I've had them anywhere from, we want to find in the plaintiff's favor, but we can't decide how much money to award. And you're like, okay, now we know where they're going. All the way to, can we have pizza for lunch? I mean, and everything in between. And so, but you're so incredibly interested in what those jurors are asking, because that's the only time during the trial that you get to get inside the jurors' minds a little bit and understand what they're interested in and where they may be leaning.
Okay, so got about a minute left here, Guy. You heard what the questions were. They were wondering if it's possible for somebody to fake this or accidentally tell the truth if they were under some sort of situation. What does that tell you?
It tells you they're not taking the confessions at absolute face value. And they're not necessarily believing them. They're not necessarily disbelieving them. I don't know that it goes strongly in favor of prosecution or defense, but it means that they're engaged, exactly as Donnie said, because he's been dead on since the beginning of this trial. It means they're engaged. It means they're interested, and they're focusing on the right issues. And you know what? Because any one juror can ask a question, and it gets passed to the judge, okay? So there may be other jurors right there focused on the same issues that have reasonable doubt, and when you're a defense lawyer, that's what the whole case is about, is reasonable doubt.
Donnie, got about 30 seconds left. The morning session, and again, we've been talking about that. Any other things of note before we move on to what happened in the afternoon?
Absolutely, and this is something that we can build on. The morning session was delayed and recess after recess because the state has been objecting. It feels like almost at the end of every single sentence so far, while the defense has been trying to present their case. There's been sidebars left and right, and it delayed things for quite a bit, and it's already...
Were they sustained objections?
So, sustained and overruled. There was a little mix there, and everything is coming back.
And we should talk about that strategy, too, when we have time.
And there's a big issue with in-cell prison videos of Richard Allen that we can get to, because that came out to be a big issue today.
All right, let's take a little break here, and when we come back, we will get into all of that. What Guy mentioned, what Donnie mentioned, another wild day in the courtroom with the Delphi double murder trial. Okay, Matt Bear, a lot of Swifties are in town. People are walking around. How are the roads?
Southwest end of downtown is really busy right now. People walking everywhere. People trying to go home from work. Just please be careful. Watch out for those exits to the parking garages as you pull out. Westbound 70 stop and go from Arlington Avenue into the North Split. Delay continues to Fletcher. Inbound 65 stop and go 29th down to West. East side southbound 465 stops before 70 down to Washington. Then we're slow to the 74 interchange. Looking at Boone County, southbound 65 jammed up after State Road 47 to US 52. That's because of construction. And a crash south of Fall Creek Parkway. It's on Delaware Street. Traffic sponsored by Honda of Fishers. Fall brings falling leaves and falling prices. Visit Honda of Fishers now and great deals on new and used Hondas. Visit Honda of Fishers in person or online at HondaofFishers.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
All right, when we come back, more on day 13 of the Delphi murder trial with Donnie Burgess and Guy Relford. It's 55 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Asking, how much money do I need to retire? You're asking the wrong question. The question you should really be asking is, how much money do I need every month to cover my expenses in retirement? Then it's just a matter of creating different sources of income to cover your expenses. Discover how you could turn your savings into a guaranteed stream of income in retirement with Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. Call him at 317-648-5120.
We trust Bill Demery to help us with planning for retirement. He's our retirement guy, and you can trust him too. Bill breaks things down in a way that we can all understand. And if you've saved more than $200,000 for retirement, call Bill right now, 317-648-5120. Social Security alone won't be enough. Contact Bill Demery, 317-648-5120, 648-5120.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate the paint, do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
After having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield is partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer no payments until 2026 for qualified buyers.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield and recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey folks, Hunter Smith here. I spent every fall from my childhood until my days in the NFL on the gridiron. Football gave me the chance to attend Notre Dame and go on to win a Super Bowl with the Indianapolis Colts. Football also taught me life lessons about hard work and toughness. This fall looks a little different. I'm not on the field, I'm running to represent you at the State House, and I'm taking hits from opponents. Hits meant to mislead you about my values and priorities. I'm tough enough to take it, and I trust voters are smart enough to know the truth.
Hunter Smith is a husband, father, and local business owner of Wonder Tree Farm. At the State House, Hunter will work to lower property taxes without impacting priorities like public safety. The Indiana State Police Alliance and Fraternal Order of Police endorse Hunter Smith, and Hunter will always empower parents to choose the best education for their kids. Vote Hunter Smith for state representative.
Paid for by Hunter Smith for Indiana.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens in Westfield. Starting today, it's 30% or more off all nursery items in stock. You heard me right. Container trees, shrubs, and balled and burlapped items are at least 30% off. Visit the Garden Center for even deeper discounts. Looking to decorate for Halloween and Thanksgiving? Sundown Gardens can help you there too. Save 30% off interior fall decor inside Miss Mary's gift shop. Enjoy fall and save at Sundown Gardens, 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Reinhardt Heating and Cooling? Well, find that American Standard dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Stevenson Heating and Cooling, your independent American Standard air dealer in Mooresville.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Again, every day from 5:06 to 5:30, we give you the absolute best in the Delphi murder trial coverage. Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom, Guy Relford, attorney, defense attorney, gun guy, host from 93 WIBC. Guy, before we went to commercial break, you mentioned that there were some interesting significance to when one party keeps objecting over and over again, because Donnie reported that's what was happening today. Prosecution kept objecting to a lot of things the defense was bringing up.
Yeah, and it's really an interesting strategic decision that lawyers have to make in any trial, and that is that you don't want inadmissible evidence coming in. And if there's a question that would elicit inadmissible evidence, then you need to object to that to keep that out. At the same time, you don't want to be seen by the jury as the person who's trying to keep them from hearing the truth, from hearing the relevant evidence that they should hear to determine this case. Because then you just look like an obstructionist, right? And you always want to be the presenter of the truth. That's what you want the jury to perceive you as during the course of any given trial. And when you object and object and object and object, you think you're doing your job by keeping, objectionable, inadmissible evidence out. And what you can do in the process is communicate to that jury that you just don't want them to hear the evidence, and they can get frustrated, they can get irritated, and they can hold it against you. And I've seen it happen.
Donnie?
And there was one person who was noted by reporters in the room who started to get, at least appear, very frustrated and annoyed, and that was Judge Fran Gall. Because ever since, as it actually started last night, if you guys remember, Master Trooper of State Police Brian Harshman started talking about a recent situation in which Richard Allen in the Cass County Jail apparently said, hey, to a guard, I'm going to kill you or something. And the defense almost jumped through the roof and said, whoa, we've never even heard this before. What in the world are you talking about?
And she didn't allow it.
And then they all went back into the chambers and watched the video, and she did not allow it in. And so it really started last night, and it has continued. Objection, sidebar. There's a note here that says the prosecution is continually objecting all throughout this one individual's, testimony.
But see, you're also communicating two different things when you object to everything that comes in. One is that you're not very confident in your case, because you think, oh my gosh, I have to keep the jury from hearing the evidence in order for me to win, right? And the other is, as I mentioned, that you don't want the jury to hear all the evidence that the other side wants to hear, because in your mind, you think it makes you lose. And it can also highlight any particular harmful piece of evidence. If you object to it, and you make a big show about objecting to it, and then the judge allows it in, the jury then is suddenly looking at you going, oh, that must be something really important I need to focus on, because you were so excited about objecting to it.
Donnie, what else took place today?
So a couple things. We had Max Baker, who's an intern who works for the defense. When they attempted to bring in video of Richard Allen in his cell, that video was not allowed in. The judge, said that you can't nail down the time frame of when this video took place. And Max was up there saying that he was in charge of collecting all the video in discovery from the state. And he said that the state had it so completely disorganized without timestamps or anything, they can't really say when this video of Allen in his cell took place.
I couldn't imagine there wouldn't be a timestamp.
This goes back a long time. This goes back to the defense accusing the state of breaking every discovery rule in existence, handing them terabytes of data with no organization or anything. Anyways, to hit some of the other parts here, Brad Heath, a man who lives just outside of Delphi, he was in the area on February 13th. He testified to seeing a 4-door car that looked like it was from the 80s or 90s and he had no recollection of a car being in the CPS lot. Why is this important? Because the defense is going to try and prove that Richard Allen's car was not in the CPS lot during the time frame of the murders, and the only car that was a super old antique looking car. So this is their witness testifying to that. And he testified to not. It was another individual, David, testifying to not seeing any other cars in the area when he was there between 2 and 3. So this is the defense trying to clear the area almost in a way.
Okay, so Guy, your big takeaway from everything that transpired today.
Well, I love the fact that we have a really smart, apparently, and engaged jury. And listen, whether they find him guilty or innocent, guilty or not guilty is how it actually works.
Right.
That's huge because you want to believe that they were engaged, they were paying attention, and they're smart. They're asking good questions. I don't know, but everything I keep hearing just keeps shouting reasonable doubt to me.
Donnie, your big takeaways.
Well, one more example of this jury is I can't remember if he's former or current, but Delphi Fire Chief Daryl Sterrett, he testified to working, doing the whole search that day, whatever, and a couple of key things the defense is going to try and hone in on. He says that they searched the area around the bridge and they focused southwest of the bridge, only just a little bit east. Well, that's not where the bodies were found. He testified to he saw lights everywhere well into the night. He saw no clothes in Deer Creek when they searched. This is all the defense trying to say. The girls were not killed on the 13th. They were killed the next day. And this is the fire chief testifying to not seeing certain things. And here goes the jury being engaged. They asked, okay, you didn't search southeast of the cemetery? And he said no. That's them paying attention to where the bodies were found.
And keep in mind, by the way, the coroner could not nail down a specific time of death. That all fits together.
So between that and still no eyewitness to the crime and no DNA from the suspect at the crime scene, has anybody changed their minds yet? That's the $1 million question.
Johnny, you'll be in court tomorrow?
I will be there tomorrow. I am back in Delphi.
All right. We will talk to you on Monday. Guy Relford, Monday. Thank you guys so much. Coming up here in just about 15 minutes, we'll kickstart the weekend with Beer Sample Friday.
I got something special.
Oh, Nigel's been teasing this beverage all day. He says I'm going to love it. So we'll see what it is. We got Nick Gilbertson from Breitbart, Capitol Hill reporter. He's joining us right after the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Gun violence on Halloween. Sunny with temperatures in the mid-50s downtown. No rain showing up on your radar. Tonight's low drops to about 39. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. A teenager was shot and killed late Thursday on the east side. IMPD officer Rob Ryder says it's another disappointing situation for investigators.
Halloween's supposed to be a time where you're out with your family and having fun.
If you know anything about the shooting, IMPD would like a phone call. Russia is apparently behind a fake video showing possible voter fraud. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
A video spreading online that purports to show a voter claiming to be from Haiti is fake and was manufactured by Russian influence actors, U.S. intelligence agencies say. In the video, a man claiming to be a Haitian migrant talks about voting multiple times in Georgia for Vice President Kamala Harris. Georgia officials called it out as obviously fake Thursday night, saying it was likely the work of Russian trolls. U.S. officials confirmed that in a statement, saying the video is part of Moscow's broader effort to raise unfounded questions about the integrity of the U.S. election and stoke divisions. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
While on her way to Wisconsin, Vice President Kamala Harris explained why voters should support her.
America deserves a president who understands our role and responsibility to our people and to the rest of the world to be a model.
Donald Trump also going to be in Wisconsin today, each candidate making campaign stops in what they believe is going to be a key swing state this election. The latest jobs report, the last one, in fact, before Election Day, only had 12,000 new jobs added last month.
That's far below the expected 100,000. I'm Donnie Burgess. UIndy economist Dr. Matt Will says the latest report from labor statistics also showed negative revisions to the last two jobs reports. Overall, the market is still responding positively.
Amazon released their earnings yesterday. Google had their earnings before.
earnings from those big AI tech firms are phenomenal. These companies in the AI world are still driving the market. It's impressive. So the market's up because of that.
And this is the last jobs report before Election Day. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
With traffic at 532, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, I'm looking at southbound 65 in Boone County. Stopped at a couple of places. The first one is after State Road 47 to US 52. That's a construction zone. And then southbound 65 stops approaching Indianapolis. It's after State Road 267 down to Whitestown Parkway, and we're barely moving through that. Looking at westbound 70 stop and go traffic, Emerson Avenue to the north split. That is a delay time of 13 minutes. Inbound 65 slows 29th to Meridian Pad. Eastbound 70 looking pretty good, actually. Stop and go traffic from West Street into the south split, and on the east side, southbound 465 stop and go from 72 South Shadeland Avenue. This is a crash, Delaware Street, just south of Fall Creek Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road at North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
This Friday evening, we're looking at clear skies, winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and a low temperature around 37 degrees here in Indianapolis, likely cooler out in some of the more rural areas. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Renner Sudis for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hammer gearing up for a big weekend here in Indy. 3 nights of Taylor Swift at Lucas Oil. I've heard rumors that she's bringing out Kamala Harris on stage. On one of these. This is her last tour.
Your daughter's going to be there.
I know.
She's going to come home and make you vote for Kamala Harris.
I don't think there's any way. The rumor can't be true. And then we get a day off Monday, and then Election Day 2024. Here to break it all down for us, Breitbart News, Capitol Hill reporter Nick Gilbertson. Nick, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hammer Nigel, thanks for having me, guys.
Excellent, man. So give us an overall big picture where your head's at as a reporter, what you've seen, what you've covered. What is it looking like for Donald Trump and the Republicans come Tuesday?
Yeah, I think things look good for Donald Trump and Republicans heading into Tuesday. You know, these early vote margins that are coming in right now, and a lot of these key swing states are really, for Republicans, are total, like Democrat margins are down compared to 2020 and Republican margins are up. So the key to that is Democrat margins are down. So that shows they're not getting what they need to get out there. And I think that looks good for Trump heading into the home stretch. And I think I saw him leading in 4 of the 6 key swing states in the Real Clear Politics polling average, which takes a bunch of polls and derives an average from him. So I think he looks like he's in a good spot heading in. Of course, you know, it's tight in all these swing states, so you never know until we get there. But I think he's in a good spot right now.
Nick, talk me off the cliff here, because I'm somebody that feels like a burned, jilted lover here. I thought the same thing back in 2020, felt good about Donald Trump, even though the polling was a little different here. Any chance of the same thing from 2020 where you go to sleep and Donald Trump is up in 4 or 5 of the key swing states, and then you wake up the next day and I'll be damned he got beat?
Yeah, well, you know, we never know till we go through the process here on Tuesday, right? So you know, you never know what can happen. Anything can happen. But one key point of data here that I've really been zoning in on, if you look at where Trump is nationally today in the Real Clear Politics average here, he's actually ahead of Harris in the national average by 0.3%. If you compare that to this day in 2020. Biden was up 8 points on Trump polling nationally, and Clinton was up 2 points in 2016 at this point. So, for one, I think obviously, you know, Trump's outperforming himself in both of the last 2 cycles, and this race, to me, is tracking a lot more towards 2016 than it is to 2020. I think just how the issues favor Trump and all that. I think. You know, I think this is a really telling data point We never really have seen him lead nationally before, in the average of Biden or Clinton. And the fact that he's up with Harris right now, I think is a really strong sign. And I think it points to, even 2020 when he was down 8 at that time, he had COVID, which is that's a tough issue to try and run on, to try and overcome, and he almost did it. And this time around, he doesn't have that, and all the issues favor him. They're on his side: immigration, economy. Democrats have worked so hard to make abortion a top issue, and I think they haven't necessarily succeeded with that. So we'll see how it all shakes out. We'll see where the chips fall Tuesday night. Early Wednesday morning, 3-4 a.m. Hopefully, we'll have an answer.
And Nick, one more thing on this topic before we move on to other stuff here. Have the Republicans done a better job at trying to get people to get out and vote early, and maybe even in some states focus on election security?
Yeah, no, I think Republicans have done a really great job this time around in getting the early vote out. I know Trump talks about he wants to go back to how things were, but for now you got to play by the rules that exist to win. So I think Republicans have done a good job in getting the vote out early, it could definitely, if there are any weird snafus on Election Day, like in Maricopa County in 2022, I covered a couple of races out there when the election machines went down for a little bit during the day, and then Abe Hamadeh, he ran for Attorney General. His race was decided by 0.2%. So you never know. It's good that we're getting the vote, or Republicans are getting the vote in now too. So that kind of mitigates any monkey business on Election Day that could go down.
Nick Gilbertson covers Capitol Hill for Breitbart News. How much of what Joe Biden said about Trump supporters, calling them garbage, this all having to do with the response to the insult comic at the Madison Square Garden Trump rally, and then Joe Biden turns around and calls Trump supporters garbage? Does that have any effect on the outcome of this election at all, any whatsoever? Or was this just like they're comparing it to Hillary Clinton, basket of deplorables? And Clinton wasn't even president when she said it.
Yeah, this is the October surprise, in my opinion, and this is probably one of the biggest moments in the race, along with the Biden debate, along with Kamala dodging interviews. Like, I think this is one of the biggest stories of the race. If you think about it, Tony Hinchcliffe, when he made that joke, he gave that really fell flat with the MAGA audience. It gave Biden and Harris ammunition to use. And they really didn't have anything going for them at that time. And Biden literally took that gift, ruined it for Democrats, and gave Trump and Republicans an even bigger gift here, and big-footed Kamala's, big closing argument where she trashed Trump on the ellipse there on the National Mall. So, I think it, and then of course, we see the scrambling and trying to reframe everything and rewrite history about it all. But I think it's a huge moment in the race. I think how Trump has leaned into it with, riding in the garbage truck, wearing the vest for his whole rally. I think that it just shows. It's so genuine, and to me, it shows the respect he has. He worked in McDonald's, the respect for all Americans, the respect for all the jobs that they do. I don't think if she were ever to do something like that, it could come across as genuine. Right. To wear a vest like that on stage, and I think, I think it's a really big moment. And it's also affecting some of these down ballot Senate candidates too, which is pretty interesting here.
Nick, do you think Joe Biden did that on purpose? We keep hearing that he's got an icy relationship with Kamala. There are reports that he feels animosity because they basically forced him out of the race and anointed her. Is there any chance Joe Biden knew exactly what he was doing?
I actually had a big story, op-ed on this on our Breitbart News subscription service here, Breitbart Fight Club, where I wrote a headline how a Kamala Harris loss would benefit Joe Biden. I kind of went into some of that, and there's so many instances where he walked out into the White House press briefing room right as she was taking the stage at the rally and upstaged her, when he put the Trump hat on.
Yeah.
September 11th in Pennsylvania at a firehouse. When he did this, I really do wonder if this is a legitimate, a calculated move by Biden out of animosity and being upset about what happened to him, because he was essentially strong-armed and basically mafioso gangster style way out of the nomination. I could see him having problems, some animosity there. And, the question is, too, is it just he's, not nearly as sharp as he once was, and he's going out there and not really thinking about what he's doing. It's one or the other. And the other thing, too, is she can never call him out on it and throw him under the bus and say, he's had this mental decline, and that's where this is coming from, because that would implicate her in this sort of, knowing this has been going on. So it's really interesting. She's pretty boxed in on quite a number of things. She's certainly having trouble here with a number of issues right now.
Nick, we had your boss on, I believe, last week or the week before, Alex Marlowe, editor in chief. You want to reset Breitbart Fight Club real quick before we let you go?
Yeah, so Breitbart Fight Club, it's our new subscription service. We're offering, really cool inside scoops and analysis on all sorts of major stories. We're putting things out that you will never find in the mainstream media, angles you'd never see there. We also have daily videos that we're putting out where Alex speaks to some of our reporters and editors and really gives a peek behind the curtain, a peek behind the hood here. Of what goes on at Breitbart behind the scenes and some of the conversations that we have with one another that the audiences can definitely tune into and benefit from.
Nick, I have confused feelings here because it sounded like you just talked about Fight Club, and I was told rule number 1 was you do not talk about Fight Club.
That is, you know what? I'm going to have some people to go answer to after this, because I shouldn't have spilled the beans there.
And of course, Breitbart.com always is free, and this is just this is another level of subscription service.
This is all additive. Everything that we always have out there is still there. You can still get that stuff, but all this is just added content, which is so cool about it.
Hey, Nick, we really enjoyed this. Maybe talk next week for a recap.
Yeah, Nigel Hammer, let's do it. Let's do it. Absolutely.
It's Breitbart News Capitol Hill reporter Nick Gilbertson. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Thanks.
Beer Sample Friday is next. I am providing libations, and I'm excited for you, Hammer. I thought of you specifically when I saw this. It was like the hallelujah music was go, ha! When I saw this on the liquor store shelf, I thought, holy crap, Hammer.
Okay.
Hammer's going to get excited about this one.
All right, I can't wait.
Beer Sample Friday next.
Hoosiers need a fighter to protect our jobs and our values. I'm Todd Rokita, your Attorney General. I fight for you, and together we win. Suing Biden because he's opened the border to illegals who are killing us, harming our kids, and driving up our taxes. Stopping federal bureaucrats who kill jobs and jack up our electricity prices with their failed Green New Deal that does nothing for our air and water. Keeping criminals behind bars where they belong. Recovering millions of dollars from welfare theft, fraud, and from opioid drug manufacturers, all to protect your health and your tax dollars. Creating the Parents' Bill of Rights so you can protect our kids from those trying to corrupt them while you're at work. Successfully keeping boys from competing in girls' sports and defending, of course, our pro-life values. And the Gun Owners' Bill of Rights so you can defend yourself and your family. I'm Todd Rokita, and with your vote this November, we'll keep fighting and winning together. Paid for by the Todd Rokita Election Committee.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget. Not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced our diamonds and gemstones directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. Come see us in store and compare our wide selection of diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in different shapes and sizes. So many in stock and ready to take home today. Create your dream engagement ring in 3 easy steps. Or pick a perfectly preset ring that's created by our in-house design team. Browse our selection of fine jewelry gifts for everyone in your life, from diamond and gemstone studs to must-have tennis bracelets and beautiful birthstone necklaces. With our everyday competitive prices and unmatched free lifetime warranty, Shane Company is your go-to destination for fine jewelry. Visit shaneco.com and come in to see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Get inspired by new stories and ideas with Audible's incredible selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is a proud veteran-owned company. 317-557-8532. Don't forget to get out and vote.
Stevenson Heating and Cooling is your independent American Standard air dealer.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
We are just moments away from kick-starting the weekend here in Indy with Beer Sample Friday. But first, Matt Baer, help us navigate through all of the Taylor Swift nonsense.
Yeah, fellas, the southwest end. Yeah, the southwest end of downtown is exactly what we expected right now, especially coming off that exit ramp for westbound 72 West Street. It is backed up onto the interstate, into the South Split, and then as you peel off on that exit ramp, go to Missouri, that's going to be busy. Of course, that takes you up to Lucas Oil Stadium and everything around that. Avoid South Street is closed on the south end, not to mention Monument Circle, so that's going to cause trouble for Penn. We look at eastbound 465 on the north side, all cleared up. Inbound 69 is not. That stop and go. 106th Street down to 465. On the east side, southbound 465 stop and go from I-70 down to Brookville Road. Inbound 70 slows Emerson Avenue into the north split, and southbound 65 we have a stall on the exit ramp to eastbound 70. That is slowing us down to west. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Joking aside, there is a good buzz in this city right now with
love
this
it.
Taylor Swift stuff. So if you or your kids or grandkids, whoever's going, have a good time, man. Enjoy Indianapolis. Have a great time. Right now, it's 55 at the American Standard Heating Weather Center, and it's Beer Sample Friday!
Right now.
Hammer and Nigel present Beer Sample
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down,
Get you some. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Our producer Allison is here. She's very excited. She's going to the Taylor Swift concert tonight. We have IU basketball on after 6 o'clock.
And special thank you to Thompson Furniture and Mattress, proud sponsor of this segment, Beer Sample Friday.
Wow. Okay. I was at the LQ last night getting some supplies for Halloween, and I saw this, and I go, Jason Hammer. I saw this thing, and I said, oh, a hammer. Oh, it was like light, like angel light. Hallelujah. So I hope I haven't oversold it because I've been talking about it. I texted you last night, didn't I?
You did. You were teasing this last night to me. An audience of one, you were teasing it to me.
Here we go.
I'm going to close my eye. Okay?
Okay.
Can you bring it over here and put it in my hand? Because I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't think Nigel has ever teased something this much.
I've never seen him this excited.
Right.
I hope.
Okay.
Wait, let me, don't open your eyes yet. I'm going to give one to...
Let me know when I can open my eyes.
Give one to Allison.
Okay.
Do you want pink or yellow?
Pink.
Or pink, you want pink or... Okay.
Again, Allison, she's dressed to the nines. She's going to Swifty tonight.
Very excited.
All right. I'm going to open mine.
I'm going to open mine, too.
Can I open my eyes?
Nope, don't open your eyes yet. Alice and I have both opened ours. They are different flavors, but it is the same brand.
I'm getting
hammer.
the shakes hearing people opening beers, and I can't yet.
Open your eyes right now.
Oh, my God. Where did you find this?
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And it's even zero sugar. Hard Mountain Dew, zero sugar. Like, it contains everything I love. Alcohol and Mountain Dew.
It's a Mountain Dew, except with booze in it.
It's a Mountain Booze. That's what it is.
It's really good, too.
Wow.
All right. And so that's the regular flavor. They have a bunch of different flavors. I bought like a sample pack, but this is the original flavor, except with booze in it.
Tell me you're from Beech Grove and Liston without telling me you're from Beech Grove and Liston when you get this excited about Mountain Dew with booze in it.
I told you, man. I told you. How's it taste?
Oh, it tastes awesome. Fill it up again.
Yeah.
I want another one.
Let's do
go.
it, baby.
The weekend is underway.
Happy Beer Sample Friday, everybody.
IU basketball's coming up next. I'm going to drink the hell out of this. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. We'll talk to you Monday, 3:06.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh, yeah, Hammer and Nigel here for your Central Indy American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro Dealer. That would be Absolute Comfort. Absolute Comfort, they specialize in these Mitsubishi Electric Ductless Mini Splits. You mount them on your wall or flush with the ceiling. They heat and cool at a very efficient level. You could use them to heat or cool specific rooms without duct work, which ends up being a very clean way to heat and cool your house, business, or even your garage.
These high-tech units are how most of the world heats and cools their homes and offices. These Mitsubishi electric ductless systems have advancements that can sense when a person's in a room, and then it can warm or cool that room to that person's wishes. For the ultimate in efficiency and comfort, contact Chris Wedekin at Absolute Comfort to find out more. AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro Dealer. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indy